What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers That Filters podcast, episode 100. Let's go! We finally did it. We've been in people's ears for 100 fucking episodes. This is insane. We have a lot of we have a lot of fun stuff planned for this episode. But we gotta start how we always do with our brewski. So I'm Jacob, and tonight I'm going. Honestly, I didn't plan out my drink for this episode. I probably should have, but I got myself a good old craft beer, as this podcast was built on our love of beer. So I got a Lagunitas Hazy Memory.
Ooh, I like that art.
Nice.
Love they got the golden tab on the top there. Very nice.
I'm Joseph, and to commemorate this special occasion, I made myself an old-fashioned. And I even made the simple syrup that I used in it.
Look at that. What a man.
I also found something really cool at the store when I was buying the bourbon for this, which is Michelob Ultra just released a seltzer.
Oh.
Although it's organic, so I'm not like too hot on it. But this is cucumber lime.
Sounds pretty decent, honestly.
Yeah, they only had 3 flavors, but I'm still gonna try them.
There's a lot of info about seltzers this episode. You guys are gonna like.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a lot. Well, I'm Gabe, and I'm still writing off my Christmas gifts from last episode where I had 2 boxes of beers around the world. So we are in Czechvar for the. Let me see if it focuses. A Czech beer is
Very nice.
I don't know what that entails, but it's pretty good. So
There we go.
like
Very
pretty
nice.
solid.
Very nice. And I am Dayton, and I don't have a beer. I don't have a seltzer.
Water.
I
It's
don't.
water.
I don't have water,
LaCroix.
and I don't have a mixed drink right now.
Oh,
Right
Oh,
now,
shit.
I have.
Oh, damn it! I forgot. Shit, I forgot.
Oh,
Tequila shots. And I do also have a margarita, but I wanted to kick things off with a shot.
And on the tally here, I'm counting that as a separate mixed drink. The shot
Okay.
counts as a separate mixed drink.
I didn't want to ruin my surprise, so.
Gabe,
Yeah,
we
I
should have
like your
done
meal.
little beers.
You know, I thought about it. We have the cream in the fridge. We should have.
We were talking about it today, and it just right over my head. I was watching the new season of Letterkenny right before this.
Ooh,
I
shit.
watched the first 2 episodes, so I was a little preoccupied.
Is the second one with the high school kids?
Yeah, that was funny as fuck.
Every time Wayne picks up the chair and
turns it around.
Y'all need to watch Letterkenny, all right? Not even just
Good shit.
Gabe and Dayton. The people out there, go fucking watch this show. It's so fucking funny.
Here's
All right,
my
well, before we-
margarita.
Ooh, salty.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
the salt
actually
in.
got the
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Welcome back to the podcast, episode 100. We got a lot of fun stuff planned. I'm not going to spoil anything off the bat. Before we get going, I got to do the room roll as we always do. You can find our show every Monday on iTunes. Well, I shouldn't say it anymore. Podcast services and YouTube. All right, that's where you can find it. Also on Twitch. Thursdays, you can see our episodes of the podcast we recorded live. Mondays, we're gaming. All right, so 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to come watch us on Mondays or Thursdays, it'd be a good time. Let's get a little more of us in your week. All right, let's get into it, boys. So as I just mentioned, we've been drinking every episode of this podcast, and we always make a point to say what we're drinking right at the beginning. So I went through all 100 episodes of the podcast, and I wrote down every drink we've ever drank.
If we had
Okay.
a little foresight, just a little, like we like wrote it down from the start.
It was more fun this week 'cause I got some cool stats in here. But yeah, so let me just explain how I broke this down. There's 7 categories of drink that we have drunk. Okay, or drank. I still haven't figured out what the correct past
I think
tense is.
both are acceptable.
Yeah,
I
I'm
looked at
pretty
one is the past tense and one's the past participle, and I'm just like, I don't fucking.
Oh,
remember
so
the
is that
difference
does that mean like has drunk then, and then versus
Has drank?
drank? So it's like drank versus has drunk.
I haven't
drunk
taken
versus
English
has drank.
in a long time.
Yes.
I don't fucking.
So the 7 categories are craft beer, shit beer, hard seltzers, mixed drinks, hard cider, Korean wine, aka soju, 'cause I had a soju one time, and non-alcoholic beverages. Among these, I mostly just recorded the ones of note, except for the shit beer. For the shit beer, I recorded every single specific shit beer.
Oh my God.
I needed the hard stats, okay? So, okay, I'm gonna be talking a lot this episode, by the way, so you guys can just interject whatever you feel like it, because I don't want to be monologuing this entire episode. But let's start off with the craft beer, okay? Jacob, 52. Joseph, 61 craft beers.
Oh,
Ooh,
baby.
man.
Gabe, 49. Dayton, 48.
Dude, that's some weak
Oh,
sauce
damn,
shit.
so you're telling me-
You guys are on the
Dayton.
seltzers.
Yeah,
Oh, Dayton's on the seltzers.
So I'm
That's-
the freaking bottom frag for
Yeah.
craft beers. Damn.
Dude, you've been out of college for like a whole 6-7 months longer than me. I feel like you should have been
It's-
stepping up your game then, you know?
It's the seltzers, man. Dayton went hard on the seltzers. As we'll
There's
see.
no way he isn't top ranked. There's no way.
Top
No.
shit.
So that's a total of 210 craft beers we've drank on the podcast between the four of us.
That's a lot of shout
For
outs,
shit beer.
honestly.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess I'll go into the specifics. So the ones I recorded were Oberon, Hop Slam, and KBC. So okay, who do you guys think drank the most Oberon?
You. I think Jacob, you did.
I think it's Joseph.
I thought it was Gabe.
Oh fuck.
From bottom up, Joseph and Dayton are tied at 1. Gabe
Wait,
has
I
4.
had an Oberon?
You had 1 Oberon, yeah. I think it was.
Was it? Well, it was probably early on. Was it when we were in the house still?
No, it was in Connecticut because you found it at the store, and so you drank
Oh,
one.
I remember this now, yeah.
Gabe was in second place with 4, and I'm in first with 6.
Oh.
Wait,
I'm
what?
both
How
me
many
with
did
O.
Joseph have?
1. Only 1
Oh,
Oberon.
he tied with me.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, which is surprising. I thought Joseph was have a lot more
Yeah,
than
I
1.
thought
I
he
like
was
to
gonna win.
rotate it a lot. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Okay,
Other than
this is-
Hop Slam, because the fact you mentioned it means I
I
had
was
quite
gonna
a
say-
few.
I mean, let's be honest. The only person who drank Hop Slam in this podcast is Joseph. But Joseph, how many Hop Slams do you think you've drank on the podcast?
I think I've had a 6er. I think 6.
So 6-pack. You're at 4.
Yeah.
You're not too
Okay.
far off. 4
Pretty good.
4
So
Hop
rookie
Slams. And then
numbers,
for KBC, KBC Brews, who do you think has drank the most KBC?
Gabe.
I think it's me.
I think Gabe.
I think it's me.
Yeah, it's Gabe because he was at Tech another semester.
I was gonna say I had a whole another 6-7 months than you guys.
Yeah, so Gabe had 7 KBC beers. I had 2, and Joseph and Dayton had none.
Hmm.
Big
I
sad.
haven't drank it one. I would have thought that we would have had like a point trail or
Yeah.
Something like
Well, I
that.
mean,
I
you
feel
got
like-
that like every Friday. Why would you?
I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
true.
we would
We
just
could-
go to the KBC.
Yeah. Why would
Yeah.
you buy a 6-pack when it was what half a mile from our place?
it wasn't
at the
even
time?
half a mile.
Yeah, it wasn't that far.
The only time I can think of we had a lot of KBC was like Dayton. Didn't you get like a whole like thing of a case of like Widowmaker from
But
somebody?
it was
'cause
like
they were,
mistake
defective?
Widowmaker.
Yeah, they like
It
were
was
printed
more
wrong.
than a case. I think I counted and I got 100 cans of assorted KBC for free.
So some of it was like mislabels, like it wasn't printed right, and some of it was
Yeah.
like bad batches, wasn't it?
No,
Or
it was
wasn't,
like dented cans and stuff like that.
Yeah,
oh,
Just
sure.
anything that they couldn't sell.
and so we drank it, baby.
Yeah, we did.
All right, now onto the shit beer. I think we all know where this is going.
I feel like I won this one too, honestly.
And I'll read it this time from least to most. So the least was me. I only drank 10 shit beers on the podcast, which is
Oh, dude, I
almost
won this.
nothing. Dayton had 16.
Uh-oh.
Joseph had 19.
Yeah, I had
Joseph
so
had
many.
19. Gabe had 31.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. Dude, like I have in my head, I'm drinking High Life. It's the champagne of beers, like stuck in my head. They say that fucking all the time.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
only 76 shit beers to our 210 craft beers. So I
Yeah.
thought those would be closer to even. But I'll get into why it's not even in a little bit.
Wait, you said
later.
31?
31 for you, Gabe.
That's a third of the episodes. Fucking had a dog shit beer. It's awesome.
Once a month.
Yeah.
So as far as individual stats on this one, so we've drinking 14 different shit beers. I'm gonna rattle them off for you.
Wow.
We got High Life.
Mm-hmm.
We got Old Mill.
Oh,
We got Bush. PBR.
Mhm.
Labatt. Coors Banquet. Hams. Rollin' Rock. Old Style. Bud Light. Molson. Looking at you, Joseph. Carling. Narragansett. That is a shit beer right there.
Yeah, dude, that's a dog shit beer.
And the last one, Natty Rush. Do you remember the
Oh.
time
Remember that, Dave?
Dayton and Joseph had Natty Rushes on the podcast?
Fucking gross.
My
Remember-
mouth was blue for.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't I finish it?
I Buffalo clubbed you.
Yeah, you made me,
in
like,
the
fucking
first 10 minutes.
You made me slam it.
I did not make you slam it.
I am a
said
man of word. My word. I am a man of honor.
You got like halfway through. I'm like, okay, you're good. That counts for 4 right there.
Do you guys remember when oh, I'm totally blanking on the word. Someone put a drink in my backpack and I had to drink it during the
Oh,
Winter
an ice?
Carnival episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
ice. That's what it is. Someone iced me and I said I didn't do it because I was like driving or something. And you guys made me do it on the fucking podcast. It was like 25 minutes in. It was, I don't know. I think it was the Winter Carnival one.
So as you guys might have just guessed, there a lot of ones at the bottom are ones that only like one person drank. It's like Natty Rush was Joseph and Dayton. Dayton had the Narragansett. Gabe had the Carling Black Label, I think it was. Joseph
That
also
was the
smelled-
one Cooper bought.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
only a
yeah,
few
yeah.
years ago. Gabe had 3 Bud Lights, where it's like, come on, Gabe.
Who buys
Hey,
Bud Light?
I know what time in my life it was at, okay?
That was in New Mexico, wasn't it?
It was New Mexico.
It was a dark time.
Yeah, it was cheap, okay?
For my stats, the only ones of note, I had 3 Labatt's, 3 Old Styles, and then a couple other random ones. So nothing, like I said, I only had 10 total, so that's pretty small
Mhm.
potatoes there.
Yeah.
Okay, Dayton, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
You had 2 top earners on your shit beer list. Which one do you think you drank more of? PBR or Hams?
I think PBR.
Incorrect. You had 4
What?
PBRs, you had 6 Hams.
Oh my god.
I don't
When did you
remember.
drink ham?
I don't know. I mean, don't
There
get me
was-
wrong. I got nothing against hams or anything. I still think it's a good shit beer. But I would have thought for sure that I would have drank Pibber
Yeah,
more
I
than...
would have thought so too.
And you only had 3 Old Mills, which I feel like would have been higher. 'cause
Yeah,
you're,
yeah,
you're an Old Mill stan.
yeah.
I am a fan of Old Mud. Huh. Interesting.
Joseph, this isn't a hard question. What was your top shit beer?
Champagne of beers.
You're damn right.
The
6 highlights,
Champagne.
Joseph. A lot of everything else is like 1s and 2s, so nothing else really stands out.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe.
Mine's High Life too. It's
Give me
gotta be.
what's your top 3? Do you think? What are your top 3 shit beers?
I know I had a PBR phase. I know I had a High Life phase.
What's the third one?
Fuck.
It's not that much less, but it's also not like right up there with them.
Oh man. I want to say. Well, you already said I only had 3 Bud Lights.
Right.
Fuck. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of all the shitty ones.
Number
Can you-
3 will shock you.
Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head actually.
Labatt.
Oh yeah, I should have known. Yeah.
So Gabe had 5 Labatts.
Yeah.
Now between PBR and High Life, what do you think? It was higher.
I
Hint,
think
they're only one different.
I was just gonna
One
say
number different.
they gotta be dead set because when we first started, I was all about PBR, and then like a year later, I did all High Life. So if I had to guess, I would say PBR 1 by 1.
It's the opposite. High
Fuck.
Life with 10, PBR with 9.
Damn.
But I mean,
Nice.
I was surprised going back, like how many PBRs you were bounding. I was like, I'm making more PBR than High Life.
I was a big fan for most of college.
Top tier.
That is
So
a good-
Top
the-
tier
beer.
shit beer.
The final rankings for shit beer: High Life, 19 appearances on the
That's,
podcast.
that's me and Joseph carrying the
Yeah.
fucking torch.
I had 2 though. I had 2 and Dayton had 1. So like
Okay.
we've all had it. PBR 15 appearances. Dayton had 4, Gabe had 9, Joseph had 2. And then number 3, Labatt with 11 appearances.
Damn.
I had 3, Joseph had 2, Gabe had 5, Dayton had 1.
God
So,
damn it.
Good representation here. And then just for shits and giggles, the 4th one was Hams with 8. Dayton had 6 of those 8. Just got the other 2.
if that doesn't fucking summarize like me, I don't know what does.
That's amazing.
I also calculated the craft beer to shit beer ratio for all of us.
Oh,
No, you didn't, dude.
Gabe, you're going down.
I'm gonna end this call.
So my craft to shit ratio is 5.2. So for every shit beer, I had 5.2 craft beers, which is pretty damn high.
That's damn good.
The next highest is Joseph with 3.2. So for every shit beer, you had 3.2 craft beers. Dayton with a solid 3.
Can't
no.
complain.
Gabe is at a 1.5.
I was really hoping he was gonna be sub 1.
Me too. I think since I moved in this house, I've only had a couple. Like I think all of that is like I definitely front loaded it, like the first, I don't know, 50, 60
Funny you say
episodes.
that, Gabe, because I have something shocking that I did not realize happened with Joseph.
Okay.
Back in the first 30 episodes, we were at the house. Joseph had less than 5 craft beers. Like Joseph
Yeah.
was swimming in shit the first 30 episodes.
Swimming in shit.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm writing that down.
I feel like
I'm
I had a
writing that
30
down.
rack at any one point in time at the house, so it's like,
Yeah.
oh, grab one of those.
But
Just
here's the
grab
thing,
one.
Joseph. Once Joseph got a full-time job and moved to Minneapolis, dude, you were pounding craft beer. Like you said, you ended up with the number 1 spot out of the 4 of us with craft beer. 61. The next highest was me at 52. Like that is insane. Like you were just absolutely destroying craft beer once you got some serious income.
And I'm
Uh,
guessing too, there were very few repeats within that.
Right.
Because
Right.
like
See,
for the most part, it's like I want to try a new one.
I feel like that was very similar for me. Like when I moved here, I guess almost a year ago at this point. The first like 2-3 months, I was just like buying shit beer, and it's like, wait, I can afford the nicer stuff. And then I was like, I'm gonna go to seltzers because it's less calories and less.
Well, it's
carbs.
funny you bring up seltzers, Gabe. Let's get into it.
Man,
Third
I'm
category.
the perfect.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the seltzers.
Yeah, Dayton's gonna sweep this one.
In 4th place, Gabe Toman, 12
Yeah.
seltzers.
That's fair.
12 seltzers.
Dude, they're probably all in the last 3 months. Like, no joke.
I have some stats about that coming up later.
Okay.
3rd place, Joseph with 17 seltzers.
Hmm.
You had so much craft beer, you didn't have seltzers.
Mhm.
Second place was
okay? When you're including seltzers, are you including the ones we drank on the
Yes.
the ranking? Okay.
yeah, I counted all of those.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, there is one thing that I shouldn't have done. We got drunk 2, I think, or maybe we got drunk 3. One of the we got drunk episodes where we were doing it remotely. We said at the beginning everything we drank before the podcast started to get ready for it, and I counted all those.
Oh
Probably
yeah.
shouldn't have, but I did, and that gave Gabe some more mixed drinks than he probably should have. But anyway,
I think I shotgun beers before that too.
Is that the one where I drank an entire growler?
yes, yeah, I think so.
Does that count
counted
as one beer or 4?
No, I counted it as 4.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
In second place for seltzers, I had 26, and Dayton had 30. So Dayton, I wasn't that far behind you.
You
I'm just
weren't
saying.
that far behind me.
That's
I'll give
pretty
you that.
close.
I'll give you that.
Dayton
And
definitely
then
lit the way, I feel like.
he did. Well, and again, we'll get to that later in the time.
This is the
I
way.
was gonna say we probably didn't start drinking seltzers until
Well, they weren't a
Does-
thing until last summer. Or no.
yeah.
Yeah, last summer's when White Claw started getting big.
Gabe, some of the facts on the timeline about seltzers are going to surprise you. But anyway, in seltzers, I only counted White Claws and Press, our favorite and least favorite seltzers.
Damn, okay.
So I had 3 White Claws. Joseph had 2. We had a little White Claw phase for a little bit, Joseph.
I remember we bought White Claw. That was like probably the first seltzer we bought.
And then
You know what?
Dayton
I bet I can tell you exactly when it was too. I bet it was last October.
I think I had that written down, but yeah, that's in the timeline. Dayton had 1. I don't remember. Oh yeah, it was like leftover from like Brian or something.
Yeah, it's probably
so
a
you
grapefruit one because that's the only one I can
Yeah.
stand. Or maybe
I
raspberry.
didn't count the
I don't know.
0.5 White Claw in this counting from the ranking.
Yeah.
Press. Dayton 6, Gabe 6, Joseph 3, me 5.
Hmm.
So when Gabe was drinking
Shit.
seltzer, he was drinking Press,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
and that does include the ranking where we had like 3 presses during that
Yeah.
ranking. So I don't know those numbers.
That's
But-
fair.
Total of 85 seltzers, with 20 of those being Press. out
Wait,
of the
that's
4 of
more
us.
than craft. No, that's more than shit beer, isn't it?
For you, Dayton. Yeah, and
No,
it's
I
funny
mean
you mentioned
total.
that. Oh, total? Yes, 85 seltzers to 76
Yeah.
shit beer total. And Dayton,
Yeah.
funny you mentioned that because I calculated the craft to shit to seltzer ratio.
God damn it.
So whichever number is the 1 is the lowest, is how this ratio works. Like for example, my ratio is so craft to shit to seltzer, right? 5.2 to 1 to 2.6. So for every shit beer, I had 2.6 seltzers and 5.2 craft beers.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Joseph, your ratio is craft shit seltzer, 3.5, 1.1, 1.
Hmm.
So you're
Wait,
pretty
can you-
even between.
Can you say like
can
the
you-
number, and then like the unit
Yeah,
immediately
sorry.
after it?
Yep. So Joseph, 3.5 craft, 1.1 shit, 1 seltzer.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, your shit and seltzer are pretty even there. Gabe.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's actually not that bad. 4 craft to 2.5 shit to 1 seltzer.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yes, you're pretty low on.
Dayton's is gonna be so imbalanced. I just know it.
Dayton, 3 craft to 1 shit to 1.8 seltzer.
Wait, why did you just flip that? I thought you said that the one at the very end was like the least.
No, it's like whichever of the 3 numbers was the least is the one I divided everything by. So for you Dayton, it's your lowest consumption was shit beer, so that's the 1. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you. I thought you were saying like. Never mind. Okay, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah,
It
so
doesn't
3
matter.
craft to 1 shit to 1.8 seltzer for
Okay.
you, Dayton.
Okay, I'll take
And then
it.
for the total podcast numbers, 2.7 craft to 1 shit to 1.1 seltzer.
Interesting.
You know, with seltzers, just like I don't know, not being that old, it's pretty good. I feel like for the seltzer camp.
Considering that beer is age old.
Yeah, it's been around for thousands of years. They had a big head start, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Really dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
With a vengeance in the in the 2020 really when seltzers popped off in the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Next category, mixed drinks. This one's a little bit shorter. Number 4, Joseph only with 3 mixed drinks. Thought that'd be a little higher, but
Mm-hmm.
Joseph had 3. Dayton and I are tied with 6. Gabe had 9. And again, I think that's because I counted those extra ones before that we got drunk. But Gabe, there was a point where you were just mixing shit because like you're in Marquette or like you were home and you're just like, here's what I got.
Oh,
You know?
Yeah, there's a couple episodes I recorded in Marquette, and I remember I think I put like juice and like a shot together. Like it was not good. It was,
It was
I think
more
it was
out of,
like
like-
orange juice.
It was more a necessity than anything. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna make this craft cocktail. It's like I got a
No.
little bottle of rum. I guess.
I guarantee you, of those 9 mixed drinks, 0 of them were what you would consider a craft mixed drink. Like,
Actually, Gabe, one was
oh
because
fuck.
I counted Moscow Mules because I had to.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, when I first moved.
Gabe had
here.
1 Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
Dayton and Joseph had 0.
Yeah, I hate
of-
Moscow mules.
Of my 6 mixed drinks of the podcast, 5 were Moscow Mules.
Dude, now that makes me want to get some this weekend. I want
Dude,
some so
it's
bad.
good shit. The one that wasn't, if you remember, is when I was leaving the apartment in Minneapolis and I had that little bit of Tito's left, so I poured
Oh,
that
yeah.
Crush
Oh
Oil
yeah,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
bottle.
Yeah, I
That was
remember
my
that.
one that I didn't. wasn't
Disgusting.
comfortable.
Oh, gross.
All right, near the bottom here, hard cider. Gabe is the only one who drank 1 hard cider and got the nickname Cider Boy.
Oh yeah.
It was Halloween last year.
You fucking
Yeah.
asshole.
I put it on the Instagram.
I got called. If you go like even 4 episodes later, I guarantee you I was still called Cider Boy. It was like a 2-month ordeal.
Didn't we
Honestly,
name?
I don't even remember what the drink was.
I feel like
can't remember.
we named a podcast after you. Like
It was
like
Halloween
was.
Town. Halloween Town 5 Cider Boy Strikes
Yeah,
Back.
It was.
yeah. I knew it was Cider Boy Strikes Back.
I know because I photoshopped Cider Boy into the Halloween movie poster.
I fucking hate you guys.
I put so much effort into that one.
What's funny,
Oh my
Gabe, is like
gosh.
during that episode, it was pretty early in the seltzer days. You're like, you guys are drinking seltzer. We're like, no, fuck you. And like we ended up just loving seltzer. Which is like,
I know.
but yeah,
You
that was
picked the
fun.
wrong side of history, bud.
I really did.
As Dayton knows, he drank the soju,
Yep.
Korean wine. I counted as 3 drinks. I think that works out for that.
Yeah,
bottle.
it's more or less right. Yeah.
You were trash that episode.
Hey man, fuck you.
You were just making fun of me, man.
Just like the Cider Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Kiss my ass, cider boy.
All right, and the last category, non-alcoholic drinks.
I think
and
Jacob wins this one.
I
He was
did,
I
sick
did.
for a while.
I'll go the most to least because that's the worst way to go. So I had 10, which is a good. good
Wow,
amount.
did you copped out
Boo.
10% of our episodes?
Yeah,
God,
that's a lot.
Dude.
Dude, we need a new
Dayton-
host.
Dayton, you're in second place with 6. You had a LaCroix phase back at near the end of the house run. You had LaCroix like 3 episodes in a row.
Did I really?
I do remember that.
Huh.
Yeah, you were just like tired from work a lot, so you just ended up drinking LaCroix on the
Oh.
podcast.
Yeah.
Joseph had 4 and Gabe had 3. But there's an asterisk next to Gabe. I gotta give a shout out to Gabe. Gabe
gonna
only
say.
drank water 3 times, and all 3 times it was like a Saturday morning recording episode. Gabe, every time we've had an evening recording, Gabe has drank an alcoholic beverage. So shout out to Gabe for
You're
that.
welcome. I'm keeping the spirit of this podcast alive.
Yep, he's pulling the weight. He's pulling
Yeah.
the weight.
So then for the final numbers here, so total drinks, period. I had 104, Joseph had 104, Gabe had 105, Dayton 106.
What? How?
Wait,
Oh,
how did
because
he
you
beat
counted
me?
soju and
Oh,
growlers and
soju
stuff.
is 3.
There's just
Sure.
extra stuff thrown in there.
Yeah.
And then for alcoholic drinks, I had 94, Joseph and Dayton had 100 exactly,
Ooh.
and Gabe had 102.
All right,
Fucking
Joseph,
alcoholic.
we're freaking 1 for 1 here. 100 episodes, 100 drinks. You know, perfect record.
And then
There
that's
you
a
go.
total on the podcast, 396 alcoholic beverages. So
And
we
that's
almost
not-
got to 400.
But that's not even like I drink 2 pretty consistently. Like I'll have a second one on deck.
Yeah, and
or-
I'm not counting those. Oh,
no,
also,
because you'd have to go through the whole thing. I
also
bet
we
we're
did-
over 400.
we didn't say what we were drinking in episodes 3 and 4. Like, we just didn't say it at the beginning, so I didn't get those numbers. So we would have had a couple other drinks
That's
thrown
okay,
in here.
dude. We didn't know what we were doing, and our audio sounds like shit. And literally everything about those podcasts are just like awful, and I don't know how people ever listen to them.
So
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm just being
re-record
too
them.
harsh on ourselves. I don't know.
I mean, Dayton, as you mentioned in the old episodes, let's get into the timeline here. All right. So I wrote down basically everything I could think of that like happened that were like big events, and then just like other random shit I found in like the first few minutes of every episode.
Sure.
Episode 1 published October 8th, 2018. So
Fuck.
a little over
over
2
2
years
years
ago.
ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the note I have is recorded the day after career fair.
I remember.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
because we started the idea of it
Like,
after career fair, I think. Or no, maybe it was
It was
before.
before. I remember because we were
It was
sitting in the
before.
kitchen. We were
Yep.
talking like, let's start a podcast.
Yeah, I don't
The
remember.
classic.
I remember I was sitting there. I don't remember who else was sitting there.
I
I
was
think it
sitting facing the back door. Dayton was across from me, and I think Gabe and Joseph were like standing in the kitchen.
I was
Yeah.
standing with my back to the sink. I specifically remember like leaning against the counter.
And I was the one who proposed it. And do you guys remember like what you were thinking like when I proposed it? Of like,
Yeah, sure,
Oh.
whatever.
you're just like, fuck it.
Dude, I
I know.
remember
yeah.
my thought process and all this shit has always been, bro, fuck it, let's make it happen. Like, there's no reason not to. So
Mhm.
I don't
I
know.
remember that exact phrasing from you. Like, let's just do it then. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah, we borrowed a mic from Alan, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then we just fucking sat in the sunroom. 4 of us crowded around one microphone, and we fucking did it.
Yeah, we did.
Had to turn off the heat before we could
Yep,
start
yep.
and unplug the fridge.
Oh my god.
Oh, how
I don't
far
remember
we've
to do
come.
that.
It still sounded like shit. You still can't listen to those episodes in a
No,
car. It's just
despite how much we tried.
the laughing is it's too much.
I was to say, like, the thing, they're not that bad. It's just when the 4 of us laugh, the audio volume just spikes and your ears start bleeding. Like, it is
You
so bad.
die.
I don't know, dude.
Um,
To me, I cannot listen to them. Maybe just because I'm too harsh on it. I don't know.
I mean, you're our quote unquote audio engineer for
Yeah.
the
Oh,
podcast.
You're the
yeah.
producer.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you know it. You know it. I'm drunk on the
Mm.
job.
Okay, as I mentioned, episodes 3 and 4, we just like didn't say our beers, so that was fun.
Big sad.
Episode 8, I just want to mention, don't listen to it. That one, the audio is particularly fucked because that's the episode where Dayton spilled his beer all over himself right at the beginning,
Oh
remember that?
yeah.
I do.
and we got so loud that when Dayton recompressed the audio file, that one huge audio spike just fucked the entire audio for the episode. So episode 8 is just chooched.
Yeah, and
Shoot.
unfortunately, I don't have the individual audio file for that anymore, so I can't even go back and re-edit it.
Yeah. So
So-
audio episode 8, don't listen to it, please, if you don't want your ears to bleed. The next thing I have was episode 30, which is when me, Joseph, and Dayton graduated,
Damn.
and that was published May 6th, 2019.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Episode
It's sort of
31.
just to say when Gabe didn't graduate.
I have your graduation later. Episode 31 is when we came back. That was published August 5th, 2019.
We're back,
So that was
baby. That's what
that was
that's
a
what
good
that
hiatus.
episode was titled.
It's a good one.
that was our first episode with a custom intro.
Was it really?
Music. Yes. I think,
Cool.
yeah, you made one for that.
Cool.
I was still at Tech, and that's for the summer. Joseph was in Minneapolis. Gabe was in New Mexico, and Dayton was in Connecticut in his first apartment.
Mhm.
And also, actually, Dayton, before I move on here, let me double check this. Dayton, you probably know the answer to this. Everyone else, how many custom intros have we had? How many different custom intros have we had? Do you think? Not counting like Halloween. Not counting the Halloween one. That was
Wait, we don't got the Halloween one.
That's like a
Yeah, the
special
one
case.
you
I'm
did,
talking
Gabe.
about, like,
Fuck that one.
Yeah, the one
More like
I helped
main-
with.
well, you can count if you want. I'm talking about like main intros that have like we've had for a consistent amount of time. How many different ones have we had?
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea.
2. There might be 3. He might have done a third one, but I want to say 2.
Dayton, do you know?
I think it's 3.
4.
Really?
We've had 4 different custom intros.
I was about to say 4, not even to like be that guy, but
Because I
Well,
know
they're
I
4
remember
fast, so
I remember well, obviously you remember the one that we're using right now. I remember my first one.
Mhm.
And I have like a recollection of a third one, but I have no clue what the fucking fourth one is.
So I can just tell you quickly what episodes they were on. So episode 31 was the first one appeared. Second one appeared in episode 37. So that was relatively soon after. Intro 3 appeared episode 43. So again, pretty soon. And intro 4 appeared episode 63. That's one we're still using.
Yeah, I know for a
And then
while there I was gonna do a new intro like every month or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Then the summer rolled around and it's like, fuck this, I want to go outside.
All right,
Yeah.
episode 34. Jacob moves to Minneapolis. Gabe moves out of New Mexico. That was August 26, 2019. Episode 37 was intro 2, and it was a drunk episode. We had a lot of extra drinks. That's what I mentioned before. That was drank a lot. A modification of intro 2 appeared in episode 40. Added some extra little beats in there, Dayton, or some extra notes.
Okay.
So that was a modification on that one. The first Photoshop by Joseph was posted on October 8th, 2019 for episode 39. I don't remember, I didn't write down the name of that episode, but that was your first Photoshop job. We did BuzzFeed quizzes before episodes 39 through 46. We skipped episode 45, so a total of 7 BuzzFeed quizzes we did.
that was fun. I like
4.
those.
I did too, but then Max and Sean said they didn't like it because it's kind of hard when you're listening. You can't actually see the.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you know what I have to say to them?
Go to
Watch-
youtube.com.
Watch the YouTube like a lot of our viewers do because I crunch those numbers, or watch on Twitch like not a lot of people
Bada
do.
bing, bada boom.
I don't think we did. We never like showed it on.
Those were the
Video, though.
pre-video days. Those were pre-video days.
We didn't have video then.
No, we had a didn't we have a BuzzFeed one that we videoed?
Dayton, I'll tell you when video shows up in this timeline.
All
We have
right.
not videoed it yet.
All right.
Okay.
Grr.
Episode 43 was an intro 3 appeared. I already said that. Episode 43 also gave Gabe a ton of shit for drinking cider.
I
Must
love
have been
how
around
that's
Halloween.
it's a notable event.
Okay, now here's something that I did not realize. Episode 44. The first appearance of a hard seltzer on the podcast was by me and Joseph drinking White Claw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I remember judging you guys for that so hard.
You know why I know exactly why we drank them that week?
Why?
because I gave you shit for it.
No, because that week was my cousin's wedding, and that was the first time I'd had a White Claw, and I was like, guys, they're pretty fucking good. Let's get them. And then
wrote
we bought
down-
them and had them for the podcast.
I wrote down just we praised White Claw way too much. We were like, these are pretty good.
Well,
me and
compared
Joseph-
to like no other seltzer, they're not bad.
I'd
Yep,
be
so-
rolling in my grave if I were dead and heard that.
You weren't yelling
But
at us
I'm
back then,
alive.
Date.
I know.
You weren't yelling at us
I
back
know.
then on that episode.
I wasn't a connoisseur yet.
Episode 45 was the first STEM topics, or that's when we started doing STEM topics every 5 episodes.
Mm.
That was 45. 49, Gabe graduated. That was December 16th.
Hey, did you just do another shot?
Yeah, fucking right I did.
It's getting
Okay.
fucking. Then you
It
got
was
a
for-
read suit.
What?
It was for my graduation. He was just excited.
Yeah, what he said.
Episode 50. Episode 50 was the last episode of 2019 and the first episode we streamed on Twitch.
What episode?
50.
Okay, so
Oh.
half of our episodes have been video.
Yeah.
That's
actually
cool.
pretty
That's
good.
cool.
That works out. That works out.
Well, actually,
Did we
Gabe, the
plan
first
that out?
episode we posted on YouTube was episode 51, which was the first episode of 2020.
Sure.
Well, because we did one where we streamed later.
We streamed 50. We streamed 50.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we started streaming every night, and then 51 was the first time we posted video on YouTube.
Interesting.
I remember that.
All 2020, we've been posting on YouTube our video.
Maybe
Check us
that's the
out.
reason it's been bad. 2020's been a shit year. Maybe we caused coronavirus.
Yeah,
I think so.
our videos.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let me reiterate. Me and Joseph had the first seltzer on the podcast, episode 44. The first time Dayton drinks a hard seltzer was episode 52.
Damn.
And Dayton, do you know which seltzer it was? Do you have a guess?
No, I honestly. Well, do you want me to guess? Because I know it's
Sure,
gonna be wrong.
throw it out there.
I would have to say it's probably gonna be like Bud Light seltzer, maybe.
That is correct. It was
Yeah,
a Bud
that's what I
Light
was gonna
seltzer.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Was it? Can I wait? Did you write down what flavor?
I didn't. I
Alright,
don't
'cause
think it was lime.
I was
think
gonna
it
guess
was-
strawberry.
I think it might have been strawberry. It was one of like the red flavors.
I
The red
remember
flavor.
I remember coming home from work one day, swinging by the Packy, and
Packy.
grabbing one, and I was like super hyped. I was like, bro, like I fucking found Bud Light seltzer. Let's go.
So that was episode 52, Dayton. Episode 54, Gabe moves uptown Minneapolis, but also Dayton calls out White Claw as being the worst seltzer.
Oh shit.
And Dayton, you were really high in Vista Bay back then, the Aldi seltzer.
It still is good. Well, one
Dude, you
flavor's
were-
good. One
You were
flavor's
singing
good.
it. You had like 3 episodes in a row you were drinking Vista Bay.
Okay, but I mean, what do you expect from me? Like, I buy a 6-pack of it and I don't drink during the
No,
week.
I'm just surprised that we didn't that didn't really come up in the ranking, the hard
Oh.
seltzer ranking. You didn't
Well, I
really,
mean, it's
like,
because it's
talk about it
Aldi.
at all.
It's an Aldi special, and if you guys don't shop at Aldi, you're not
That's
gonna
true.
find it.
That's true. And then episode 63. So that was 54, Dayton, that you were high in Vista Bay. 63 was your first press.
No,
And
that's
on
not
the
my
podcast.
Okay, on the
On the
podcast, because I first tasted it the winter of 2019.
Okay, but that was the first time we had it on the podcast, and you definitively said it's the best seltzer back then.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. And that's also when Intro 4 appeared.
Oh, interesting. Coincidence?
Okay.
I think not.
He was inspired.
So yeah, so that was 63. We didn't do the hard seltzer ranking until episode 79, which was a long time later. But Gabe, here's my stat for you.
Oh no.
You had your first seltzer in episode 66. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
You didn't have your second seltzer until the hard seltzer ranking, which was 79.
Damn.
That is months of time.
Yeah, that's a long time. I mean, go ahead.
I'm ashamed, frankly.
Yeah, that's. I take it back. Shut the fuck up. No, I think I only started doing it this summer, like really, like seriously, like
Mhm.
switching over to seltzers over beer.
I mean, it was after the hard seltzer ranking. I feel like you really get into it. That's when you started getting a lot more press, obviously.
Yeah.
I never thought
And-
that I could hear somebody front wiping before, but I think I can right now.
Hey man. Fuck you.
Episode 68, Gabe and Joseph move in together, May 11th, 2020.
Look at us.
Episode 73, I moved to Connecticut and Dayton moves into his new apartment. That was June 15th. Episode 76, I moved into Dayton's place, July 6th. Episode 81, I moved to Indiana, August 17th, which feels like forever ago. The spooky intro made by Gabe and Dayton ran through October episodes 87 through 90.
That was a
Whoop.
cool episode. That was
a cool
cool
one.
one. I like that one.
That was fun. I like that.
Yeah, that was a really cool intro.
I'd like
then-
to do that again at some point.
No.
Okay.
No, we can as long as you do those power chords or whatever you did.
Oh, my latest post
Mm-hmm.
at Gabe Learns Guitar
Mm-hmm.
Follow him.
on Instagram.
Yep.
Follow him. And then here we go, episode 100, January 11th, 2021.
100.
There we go.
Fucking did it. So yeah, that was a fun little timeline to do. Get us, think about the past.
Mhm.
So the next item on the agenda is Dayton is going to read us some listen and watching stats. Before he does that, as kind of the same block, I wrote down our current followers on all of our social platforms. I thought that'd be interesting. Twitter, we got 11 followers because we never use it.
4 of them are us, by the way.
No, I don't have
Instagram?
Twitter.
Oh yeah, Dayton doesn't have Twitter.
Sure.
So 3 of them are us.
3 of them.
That's a little better.
Not that
Instagram,
much.
we have 73 followers on Instagram. That's pretty solid.
Damn.
I'll take it.
And how come we don't get 73 views every episode?
It's a classic copy
YouTube?
pasta.
YouTube, we have 18 subscribers, and Twitch, we have
Oh,
20
shit.
followers.
Do we really? I didn't know that.
As
Yeah.
I got Katie to follow us yesterday. I was having a movie with her. She follow the podcast.
Sure.
All right, Dayton, give me these hot stats.
All right. So, as everybody knows, we usually shoot for about an hour every week for our podcast, except we usually run over by a few minutes, and that has led to us having a total runtime of 107.6 hours. So if anyone's been listening to us without any repeats, that means that you could have worked 2.5 full-time weeks and listened to us straight of work.
But you listen
not-
to us instead.
Yep. Just let that one sink in.
That's crazy.
And then that brings us to our average episode time of 65.9 minutes. So that 5.9 minutes, at the time, you don't think it makes much of a difference. But in the
Adds
end,
up.
it adds up.
Hey, I mean, we had to switch RSS feed providers because of it. Because you can only have so much data for it. So we switched to one that allows you to have unlimited for a little bit more money.
Oh, is that why
Because-
we had to switch?
Well, I mean, we also ditched it because when we took our hiatus, we didn't know if we were going to come back.
Ah, that's true.
So we're about to end that one, and then we swapped over to the one that allowed us to have.
Yeah, and
unlimited
honestly,
time.
I like this one more anyway.
It's a better platform for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
It's a
what was the first
transistor.
Was it WordPress? I can't remember what our first RSS was.
Fuck. It was one of the more popular ones, but you only got like 100 megs, I think. We bought the 100 meg plan, and even then we were kind of getting close.
Yeah, we were getting.
Well, each episode is about 70 megabytes. So
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of sucked because if we wanted to run over it, we were definitely like, I don't know. We had to be more conscious of it. Like,
yeah.
versus if we have special episodes like the Seltzer run, it's not like we had to take a week off just for the one episode, right?
Right.
This platform's a lot better.
Well, funny you mentioned the Seltzer episode, Gabe, because that is actually our longest episode we have ever published.
Yeah, like over 2 hours.
It was over 2 hours. It was over 2 hours. 2 hours
Damn
of
good
pure bliss. That's what it was.
Not the last half hour for me, dude.
Yeah, 'cause you just wouldn't fucking go to the bathroom. Should have just went to the fucking bathroom.
My fucking bladder, dude.
All right, moving on to the number of total downloads. Okay, so this is just for the people that have listened to the podcast, not for the viewers. So when I did this, it was getting close to 3,100 downloads, total downloads. So I'd say that's pretty damn good. If you would have asked me when we started this podcast how many downloads we would have had, I would have said, bro, I don't fucking know. Like maybe 100.
Well, that if you pulled that from Transistor, that's not all of it, because when we swapped providers, we lost all the data from that.
From the 30 episodes, yeah. And you know what's actually surprising about that is that our first episode is still, I think, the most
number one.
Yeah, it's the most popular.
We just need to reshoot it with better audio.
We need to have a script and with the time
Yeah.
scale
Oh my
so that we
gosh.
know what to say.
That'd be such a pain though. Maybe we just make it like only the real homies can access episode 30 before.
Yeah, they're right. We could just axe them at this point and have another 100 special in 30 episodes.
Yeah, just pretend they never happened.
Yeah.
And then on YouTube, we have almost 600 views on our videos. And as Jacob
bad.
mentioned, I think when did we start recording? 51 was our first one. So
51, yep.
we have 48 actually like videos of us talking, and the rest of those videos are just our like video or like our thumbnail or whatever, just
just a picture
over
of
audio.
audio.
So I would say that's pretty damn good. I think we've been seeing some growth on our YouTube actually, which is
Yeah,
pretty
I mean,
interesting.
recently we've been getting a lot more views and clicks on our YouTube videos. So
Yeah.
I think the thumbnails definitely have helped a bit too. Like, they're just more clickable, you know?
Mhm.
The
not
monkey
having
brain.
not even the same one every single time.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I mean.
Did I watch
Yeah.
this one? I don't remember.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the total views / listens, we have over 3,500 views and listens total, with an average of 36.4 listens or views per episode. So that's not counting Twitch, because on Twitch we usually get like another like one or two, but I don't know if those people are like
I never
also, like,
realized it was
listening
that
or
high
viewing.
because I never checked the YouTube stuff. I don't.
Well,
Yeah.
and people are probably maybe double dipping because like on YouTube they only watch for a few minutes and they may listen to the audio later. But still,
That's true.
I'll take it. I'll take the numbers.
Yeah. Sorry, I got
I
shit
mean-
in my throat.
Part of me is like, that's super good, but also, I mean, so we've been doing this for what, 2 years? I'd say like a year and a half with the hiatus.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a lot more than I thought people would listen to.
Yeah, like honestly, I'm
Us
impressed.
fucking ramble. Nah,
I'm
I'm happy
impressed.
with it.
Um,
Still waiting to break even though. You know?
Yeah.
we need
Gotta get that ad revenue.
we need some sponsors.
gotta get- Once we get
Please.
Twitch affiliate, we might be able to.
Maybe.
Maybe, who knows? Who knows? But so moving on to the top like forms that people listen on, Spotify is by far most popular at 69%. Nice. Our second most popular is Apple Podcasts at 18%. And this is just a fun fact that I want to point out when I was browsing these, is that at least 3 different times someone has said, "Hey Alexa, play the Engineers Without Filters podcast." To me, that is just so fucking funny. Like,
I bet I
Yeah,
can
I
guess
know.
who some of those are.
oh gosh, is it Alyssa?
Yeah, she has an Alexa in her house.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
awesome.
Well, all right. There's your shout out.
It's so weird to like see your photo like on Spotify still. Like I don't know. Like, I can like search our thing and then it's just us. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
such.
like
I mean,
Rama.
still 100 episodes later, it's just very
Mhm.
bizarre.
Also, those are some old photos, but like
They are.
Well, we wanted to get
2
a
years
we
old.
wanted to get an updated picture this winter, but
Yeah,
then
we should do
COVID
that.
started spiking up again. So I mean, couldn't make it
Mhm.
happen. But
Yeah,
it is
maybe
what
a
it
photo
is.
shoot at some point.
Yeah. Countries and states. All right. So, as you all probably have guessed, United States is our most popular country that listens, and then the states that have the most listeners are in actual like order. Michigan has the most. California has number 2, which is pretty surprising to me
Who the
because
fuck's in California?
Yeah.
I don't know who's in California. I remember that we had one listener write in on our Instagram that was from California, that didn't know us or anything. Actually, I think Jacob, you're gonna like read
Maybe, yeah.
her DM or
Yeah.
something. And then the third one was Vermont. And the funny thing is that we have literally one person in Vermont that we can thank to put in number 3 on the fucking radar. And that is
Shout
that
out
is-
to Andrea.
Yep, shout out to Andrea for single-handedly moving Vermont up to number 3. And then outside of the United States, which these were very weird picks in my opinion.
I think it's a bot, dude. I think there's some bots listening or something.
It's very possible because they're from Turkey, Russia, and Canada. Those were more than just they had more than just like, oh, someone clicks on it once and then clicks off. Like these had like
Canada's possible.
Canada's
Canada's
possible, but Turkey and Russia, I'm just like, why would you be interested in listening to us? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Putin's trying to get intelligence on young adults in the U.S. and he's listening every week.
He's trying to understand.
yo,
the-
these guys like
the-
seltzers.
Kids these days.
He wants to know the human condition behind white men in their 20s in the States.
Yeah. Why aren't these guys just fucking slamming potato vodka?
Yeah.
All right, and then I have some more stats on our top episodes. So, first I'm going to go into our top overall episodes. So this includes YouTube views as well as just audio views or audio listens. So our first one, as I think I mentioned earlier, was episode number 1, which was getting a job and drinking beer. I don't know how we could have come up with a possible better title for that episode.
I
But
don't know, man. It's just so good.
but it's
So
our
that's the college
only
experience right there.
that is truly the college experience. And it is our only episode to crack the 100 views / downloads barrier. That
Okay,
we've
but
had.
when we had it on SoundCloud, because we started out in SoundCloud. That had over 100 listens the first time we uploaded.
Did it really?
We pimped it all on our Instagrams, I think, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first
Mhm.
episode got a huge bump, and we only put like 10 episodes on SoundCloud, I think. But
No,
that
no,
hit,
we had to recycle them too. So like we had to.
Yeah, we had to
we
start
can only
deleting
have
them.
3 or 4 up at a time because I
Yeah.
had to delete them the night before.
Mhm.
Also, that was the time we were only posting on SoundCloud. We didn't even have an RSS feed yet, so we were only posting on SoundCloud. That's why everyone went there because they had
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, we had. I want to say it was like 120-ish before it got deleted. It was pretty good.
Which I mean, it's not unsurprising, right? That our first
right.
episode is our most popular.
Right.
And then our second most popular is the official hard seltzer ranking.
Yeah,
Really?
dude.
Yep, this one has a total of 78 views or downloads.
Get
Moving
out
on to
here,
number
baby.
3, I don't have coronavirus. This one has 74. And
That SEO baby.
That
Everyone
one-
wants
Yep,
the
this one-
topics.
Yeah,
this one had a lot of its views come from YouTube.
I think
which,
we had tags on it or something, right?
I when there's the opportunity to tag with like recent events, I always do it because I'm like, gotta get that search engine optimization. Might
Yeah.
click on it, might show up in like the recommended,
I feel like a lot of these people were looking for like coronavirus information in the form of a podcast, and they just heard us bitching about it, and then they immediately clicked off.
probably. Top.
Oh, some
Top
engineers,
4.
they're going to really explain what's behind the factors behind
They're gonna
coronavirus.
know-
Oh,
they're
that's
gonna
so
know the
cool. Like,
nitty-gritty
what's going on?
details.
That's so interesting. Hey, guys, I'm drinking this beer tonight.
Who the fuck
God,
are these
imagine that
guys?
shock.
Well, that was probably early in the pandemic too, where we were still like, things are annoying. Everyone's getting locked down. This is so dumb, and like, it probably ages so poorly.
It was episode 59, so I think that was pretty early on in the lockdown.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one.
Top 4 or number 4. We're back, baby.
Ooh,
So I mean,
that feels-
kind of
Mm-hmm.
unsurprising as well.
I disagree. This
after-
one's very surprising for me because I know
Really?
it was the first episode ever a hiatus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the people who are like our loyal listeners, I feel like I'm like, oh, they're back. But like we got at 7-day views and downloads. Like that seems like a lot more people, and it'd be weird they would know like, oh, this is like after a break they're back.
But
So it's not
also
like a super enticing title.
it's like, I don't know. I would argue that it is kind of an enticing title because it's like, why are they back? Where'd they go? Like, where did they come from?
It's like those
You know?
YouTube videos where it's like, I'm quitting XYZ. Except
exactly.
It's like,
exactly. Like
we're
people
back.
people are always like, they're
wanna
nosy.
know.
They're
Yeah.
nosy. Yeah.
See, I'm surprised. I thought that like our
We got
like
drunk
sex
episode.
and drug abuse ones were gonna be the ones
Well,
like
see,
I'm
Gabe,
not gonna say sex specifically, but like the like relationship ones or like the Valentine's Day ones and
Don't
the
speak too
that
soon,
we got
Gabe.
drunk.
yeah, Gabe,
Don't
you
speak too
spoke
soon.
you spoke a little bit too soon because
Sorry.
top episode number 5 is
Ah.
our breakups, good, bad, and really ugly, with 69 nice views or downloads.
And that one was a relationship one too. Right?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as we all know, that shit gets clicks.
Sex
Yep.
sells, man.
Mhm.
Excels, baby.
Mhm.
Listening to that one is so uncomfortable because I listened to it actually like a month ago. Because it starts off with us talking about our friend Sean eating like 12 donuts in 12 hours.
Bro.
And then it's just, and then it transitions into this monologue about me talking about like a breakup that like put me in depression for months. It's just like there's no, it just fucking goes from 0 to 100 or 100 to 0, whatever way you want to frame it. It's the dumbest episode ever.
I totally forgot about the Sean shit. Oh my
Dude,
god.
dude, are you kidding me?
good
That's one of my favorite moments that I want to talk about after we get done running through these stats.
That's
All right.
it's a good episode.
All right, so since
Also,
I've covered the
sorry,
major,
Oh, Gabe, wasn't it episode 2 where you recorded in our living room?
Yeah, I was in your guys'
Okay,
living room.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Damn. All right, sorry,
okay,
dude.
okay. So now that I've gone through the top 5, I'm just gonna like speed through the top 5 watched and then speed through the top 5 listened episodes. So top 5 watched. Unsurprisingly, it's the official hard seltzer ranking. So for that one, we made sure to put our ranking up on the screen, so then it was more of an interactive experience for everybody. And then number 2, I don't have coronavirus, which, as Jacob mentioned, the
Obviously.
search engine optimization, which he was going after for that episode, with 23 views. Oh, sorry, I don't think I mentioned that the hard seltzer one had 31 views. This next one, I have no fucking clue why it is on this list, because it makes no fucking sense. STEM topics. Osmosis Jones cures COVID. with 23 views.
Dude, I was so proud of that thumbnail. It's so simple, but I'm so proud of that one.
Dude, I think it must be the COVID optimization again.
It has to be. It has to be.
I think people were in that nostalgia Osmosis Jones kick, you know?
This podcast is now a COVID podcast. I don't know.
Actually, Date, I'm pretty sure on that episode we got a comment from somebody that was like, dude, I fucking love Osmosis Jones.
That's amazing.
Holy shit. Maybe it is Osmosis Jones just pulling his fucking weight there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Number 4, the aliens hate us. So I don't
Episode
really.
97.
Episode 97. So a very recent one, and that has 20 views on it.
Damn.
So I don't know. That one's another mystery. And then the last one, Jacob moves to Purdue, which I don't really understand that one either. Because
I think for both the aliens and the Purdue search engine should again, like people are looking for UFOs because there's a UFO news recently, and then I don't feel like Purdue. I don't know.
Maybe.
Do they?
There's a lot of Purdue alumni.
It's a good school.
It's a large school. People are searching for it probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then top 5 listened episodes. So as Gabe mentioned earlier, SoundCloud not included on these. So episode 1, getting a job and drinking beer on Transistor alone, which is what we started after episode 30. So that means that we've only had 70 episodes to accumulate this data. Episode 1 has had 89 downloads. So even though it's an old episode, people are still listening to it.
I imagine it's like, oh, what's this podcast? I'll scroll back to episode 1.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Baldy sucks. I'm getting out of here.
It is.
Yeah.
It is not a chronological podcast.
Yeah, I wish that people would just.
If you've
click
made
on,
it this far into
episode
this
100.
They are not in order.
No.
You don't need to watch
No.
them in order.
There's no
Number 2.
plot.
Number 2, episode 37. We got drunk. Number 3, with 59 downloads.
We need to do 4 soon.
We do need. I feel like number 4 is over.
It's overdue for sure.
Wait, dude, we've been almost a year without We've Got Drunk. No, we've done. We've Got Drunk 4.
We did the seltzer.
The seltzer one kind of count. That was like 3.5.
During the seltzer ranking, I said this is kind of We Got Drunk 4.
Okay.
So we're due for We Got Drunk 5.
Yeah, because it's been almost 4 months at this point.
Yeah.
All right, episode 52, Year Compass 2020 is our number 3 top listened episode with 58 downloads.
Some sour milk. That's what that episode is.
That's a hard listen these days.
Yeah. If you want to hear some people just be fucking smacked around silly by what actually happened.
If you want to hear optimism, it's a good episode.
Actually, you know, I wonder if you listen to episode 52 back to back with episode 99, which is our Year Compass 2020 review. How fucking funny that would be to just be like, man, these guys got fucking smacked silly.
Well, because we do the midpoint review too that we did in June or July.
That's a good point.
We were like, oh fuck.
Yeah, we were like, this is
we saw the writing at the wall at that point. I mean,
Yep.
It was bad.
And then number 4, top listened, episode 31. We're back, baby, with 57 downloads. And then our number 5 top listened episode 56, breakups, good, bad, and really ugly, with 55 downloads.
I'm telling you, man, this shit sells.
It does.
And
It
getting
really
drunk
does.
sells as well.
I'm telling you, it's the sex and drugs, man, and rock and roll. Gotta do that too.
Well, thank you to everyone who's ever clicked on or watched an episode of our podcast. It means the world to us. And to learn more about you, we're going to reach into the mailbag here and see who wrote in for episode 100. I'll tell you what, things were looking pretty dire last week.
They were dead ass.
People writing in. But you know what? We got a solid list here, and I'm really happy with it. So we're going to take turns reading. I try to pick people who each of us is like kind of close to do the reading. So Gabe, you're first, and then Joseph, then Dayton, then me. So Gabe, kick us off here.
All right, we've got our dear friend Emily. We appreciate you for writing in. So here's the big blurb she's got. She got a little bit about me. She's 23 years old. She's a tech grad. We knew that. Wisconsin, gross. She just moved to Chicago, so I feel like it's okay-ish now.
Yeah.
Cubs and Hawks fan, famously known for being runner-up in the March Madness BS bracket 2020.
Yo, shout out.
Second place to Dayton. That's a great episode. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. That's a great episode.
She'll be back next year. She'll be back next year to try to
definitely
this year. It's 2021.
This year, yeah, you're right.
She's got a BS in biomedical engineering, and she's currently in downtown Chicago studying at Northwestern's med school for her master's. Also, shameless plug for her side hustle at Emily Print 3D Prints on Instagram. She does great 3D prints of nightlights and other things.
Yeah,
Joseph, do you want to give a
lithographs.
little shout out because you used Emily's 3D prints?
I did. I got 3 of her nightlights for my mom for Christmas this year, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on them. They turned out really nice. Thank you, Emily. They're really awesome. And yeah, I actually talked to my parents the other day, and they were talking about how cool they look.
Damn, I kind of want to get like a freaking just penis.
You could. You
How
could do
funny!
that.
How
You
fucking
gotta
funny would
send
that
her a
be?
dick pic then, though.
Yeah.
No. It won't be my own
dick pic.
cock. It won't be my own cock. Come on.
Okay,
I have more
but
tact
imagine
than
like
that.
putting that in your bathroom so you can see at night, and it's just a picture of your own dick.
Gabe. How perfect would that go with
first
the
floor
picture in
bathroom.
our bathroom?
Yes.
So, I don't think we've told this. So, in our house at college, we all had a self-portrait. It wasn't a self-portrait, but a portrait of each of us going up the stairs. When we graduated, we all got to keep our own pictures. Although some got traded hands because of weird things. So anyway, I have mine. So when Jacob was still here in Minneapolis, the 3 of ours were in this house here. And I think, Jacob, you left yours here. Yeah,
I gave mine to yours. I didn't want to picture myself in my apartment.
Yeah.
Weak shit.
So in this house, we have a picture of, Gabe, Jacob, and myself. And our friend Cooper one night got drunk and hid them around our house. So he took mine and put it in the first floor bathroom with a note of like a speech bubble that says "nice dick, bro." So if we get the cock nightlight in the bathroom with the nice dick, bro, it'd be perfect. It would really tie the room together.
I think it would.
I think what the moral of the story is, you should go at Emily 3D Prints and check her out and get a
Long
dick
story short,
nightlight. Anyways,
Yo, deadass, I actually might now. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
Emily, I'm just starting in advance.
She's gonna get an influx of orders with just dicks.
How she's still friends with us.
I have no clue.
She also wrote she's also one of the OG friends from the Eng 1101 class that was with Joseph and one of our other friends, Josh, who's been on the podcast. And hockey, we played intramural hockey with me, Dayton, and Joseph as well.
Yeah.
Played intramural with her. How did she find the podcast? She said we wouldn't stop talking about it. She's not wrong. Why keep listening? I always hope for the opportunity to be a special guest. JK, this is so written in her voice. When I listen to podcasts, it feels like we're hanging out and catching up. It's fun to keep tabs on your guys' adventures, and it really makes me laugh. Oh, there was 2 releases.
Really.
Yeah. And sometimes I even try to interject into the conversation when I'm listening, plus it passes time on long drives. And anything else?
Emily, amen to that. I'll take a shot to that.
Yeah, that one was just for you, Emily. Anything else? She put, I want you guys to know how refreshing it is to hear like-minded, respectable, educated people, in quotes, men.
Yo, I don't know how she's gonna feel about us being respectable after I send her a freaking order for a dick lamp.
Talk about difficult, sometimes trivial, but mostly random-ass topics. It helps restore some faith back into humanity. We've always had great conversations when we hung out in school, and through the podcast, I've really enjoyed listening to your opinions, thoughts, and conversations. Always respectful, clever, and hilarious. I hope you guys keep it up. Thank you very much, Emily. That was very wholesome.
That was
I
so
missed
sweet.
you. When Corona ends, you have to visit. And of course, we have to have you back on for Bullshit Bracket 2.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Electric
Mhm.
Boogaloo.
And I'm already drafting. I'm already thinking of ideas for that one. How we can shake it up.
Fucking excited.
Shake
so
it up.
excited.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Joseph, you're up next.
All right. So my girlfriend Alyssa wrote in,
Who's sitting right next to you?
and she's sitting right next to me right now. And she said, I started listening after I went on a few dates with Joseph, and I totally binged a ton of episodes to learn more about him. And then I had to pretend all the stories he was telling me were new. And she said she keeps listening because I like to listen to the total bullshit that Joseph spews, and then fight, and then you guys fight him on it.
Oh, she wants to fight you on it, man. She's
Oh,
fighting you
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Either way, I get fought on it a lot. So. And it's usually shit that I don't remember saying half the time. It's like, hey, remember when you said this on episode 6?
Oh, yeah.
It's like episode 6. It's like, bruh, that was so long ago. I don't remember what I said in episode 99.
Honestly.
I still have to ask what we talk. Like, I have to think about what we talk about when I make the thumbnail. Like, what do we talk about again? And that's like only, 5 days later?
Yeah.
Not even. It's
Yeah,
like 3
not
days
even.
later.
It's like 3.
Thank you, Alyssa. And I think it's so funny, like, you're dating somebody and they have a podcast, like, I'm gonna fucking stalk them and just listen to this entire thing,
Okay,
find out if they're cool
To
or
be
not.
fair, I do the same fucking thing.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
if I had
doing
the
the same
opportunity
Oh,
to.
hands
Like,
down.
Like
For
that
sure.
is a huge amount of information that someone can you can
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
learn about somebody.
But the thing is, we have topics that are like,
It's such a crapshoot, though.
how many kids can you beat up? And then there's all the questions that are like, what's the meaning of life? I don't know.
I think we did the like psychology test or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, the dark
dichotomy
triad.
test.
Sure. We have love languages, I mean, there's a
It's
whole
like,
bunch.
what if we had grasshopper legs?
Yeah. There's some varied content,
Mhm.
but you can definitely learn a lot about us, that's for sure.
Very, very varied. How about that?
All right, Dave, you're up next.
All right,
Two
so
for
this
them.
one came in for one of my sisters, and she tells us that how she found the podcast was a big surprise from me.
Imagine that.
So, and she says that she keeps on listening to keep up with me, probably to keep an eye on me. I don't know. That's what older sisters like to do. Oh my gosh, Joseph, stop! he's writing anthiny, which for
Yeah, for
other
reference, it's a
listeners,
Google Doc, so like we're all looking at
yeah,
it.
he's editing it right now.
It's hot editing.
Yep. And then she says that she also makes sure that I don't say anything bad about her. And I guess episode 8, which is the episode that we just said to never listen to because the audio on it shit, she said, please reference the sibling episode, which is episode 8. And you know what, honestly,
Sorry,
just,
that's so fucked. You can't listen to it.
just because of that comment, I think we might need to have another siblings episode. Just so that I can
don't know what else to say
I
about
can
myself.
rag on my sister some more. I don't know.
There we go.
And she says that she's also slightly bored at work and can't listen to murder podcasts all the time. Which I mean, I feel like that put you in a pretty dark place if you're listening to murder podcasts all the time. But I don't know. Who knows? And she ends with a few recommendations. She said, if Jacob could just stop complaining about Indiana, that would be great. And then in parentheses, I mean, it's not super great, but come on. And she says, I can hook you up with some cool things in the central Indiana area. So Jacob, there you go. If you
Or
want,
send me an email. All right, send me an email with the cool shit, and I'll try to do it. But for now, it's not looking good for Indiana.
Yep. And then she also says that she thinks it'd be super cool to have guest stars / speakers on it, which I am very for. And I think that's something that we can do moving forward. I mean,
I just don't know who these people would be who would want to be on our podcast.
Well, I mean, we
do
did
we
it-
want like actual like stars or
No.
just like people?
No.
We've had our friends on before.
Do you guys
Yeah.
remember that time that guy emailed us when he wrote a book and
Yeah.
he wanted to star on it? That was
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
We weren't pulling 35. We were pulling like 15.
Mm-hmm.
It was like barely
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, so I think moving forward, I'm definitely like open to that, especially because now that we have like the whole streaming and video capturing aspect like pretty much down, um, we can start tackling some more complex things like that.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and then I've got back to back male write-ins. So this one
You
comes from
got more
Henry.
friends than Gabe and I.
Friends. My first one was my sister.
More outspoken people in your life than us.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then this one comes from Henry. So Henry, all right, here I'll just read what he wrote because he probably does a better job of explaining it. He says, "Hey, I'm Henry. I listen fairly often. Dayton was my orientation leader freshman year at Tech, and I'm a materials science major, so it's fun listening to what the world past school looks like for all of you." So I recall Henry, and I remember having fun with Henry, especially at the few parties that we ran into each other at. And he says that I mostly listen to the car, usually hammer out 4 episodes on the way downstate. So I think that's pretty common for our listeners. Like when they're on long drives, they just pop us on, so it doesn't feel like they're driving for super long, no company. And then he's also been this is a side topic from this. Henry's also been messaging me whenever he finds a new seltzer that he wants me to try. So he has told me about the PBR hard seltzer, which I was able to try. I think
The
there's
stronger seltzer?
yeah, the stronger seltzer. I think there's
I've had that one.
6%, and I think I've had the lime one. It wasn't bad, especially
See,
for
I had-
6%.
I had the
Joseph had
lime
one.
one too.
Yeah, I remember for a 6% seltzer, it definitely was very good. And then he also told me about the Four Loko seltzer, which I tried. Absolutely fucking hated it. I would rather have a regular Four Loko over a Four Loko hard seltzer. But I also don't remember. No, because I didn't buy the Four Loko hard seltzer. Someone came over to my apartment and had it, so I don't even know how much it costs. So I can't give you that breakdown, the analysis of it, or anything like that. But he's also telling me some more information about this new hard seltzer. He says Founders, which is a brewery in Michigan, has started mass producing seltzers, and he says I don't know if you've tried them at all yet, but I would recommend them. And
This is the first I'm hearing about it.
I know this is the first
Yeah.
time I'm hearing about it too, but I only find the only Founders that I find out here are their oatmeal stout or something that's like super popular and all day. So maybe when I go back to Michigan and Founders is at fucking every store that you go to, I'll have to pick some up because you know what? I'm a seltzer man. I'm not
You
afraid to
could
say
get
it.
some Founders here.
I was gonna say, you guys might have a good chance, Joseph, of getting
Yeah.
it out there.
I know. I
Yeah,
see like
Total
this.
Wine, man.
Yeah, I see like the Centennial IPA quite a bit, and some other. Yeah, definitely like all day. And I'm trying to think what else. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, and Founders is a well-respected brewery. It's one of the
Yeah,
the top brewery
Definitely.
in Michigan. Like,
No, Bell's is
oh yeah, right.
by far.
I mean,
Curious to try their
it's still a very big brewery in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
All right, I got 3 friends who wrote in. But before we do that, I'm
Wow.
gonna
All right.
side-
I see.
Big Dick Jacob over here.
I got
I-
3 friends.
I harassed them until they wrote in.
Boo.
Before I get to that, I do want to do a couple shout outs here. So a while ago, we got some people who wrote in to our Instagram, just like saying hey. And I'm not going to say their names because they didn't specifically write into this episode, so I don't know if they want to say their names or not. But these are fun little things. So this was on September 9th, 2019. This was a while ago. And this person said, "Hey, I'm a big fan of the pod. I just graduated from mechanical engineering in Canada, and the stories you guys tell remind me of the good times in college with the boys. So keep it up."
Well, that's probably
And-
the Canadian listeners we've been
Yeah,
getting.
that's
then.
probably
I didn't. Yeah.
And we asked him back, like, "How'd you hear about us?" And he said, "Just search for engineering podcast on Spotify one day and found you guys." So love the idea of being like, "Give me a engineering podcast," and it's our dumbass.
Yeah.
What if you had grasshopper legs?
And then the second one I want to read is from another person. This was on January 26th in 2020. And they wrote, "I just wanted to say it's dope you guys are doing this podcast. I initially started listening thinking it was going to be tangentially related to Engineers Without Borders, but ended up staying for the endless banter between y'all. Listening to the podcast has made my 40-minute commute a little more bearable. Again, did we pick the name based on the SEO of Engineers Without Borders?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. All right.
Well,
so
in our
this was-
our original logo, I remember photoshopping out. So the Engineers Without Borders logo is like, it's like a globe with a bird, and then is it just a bird?
I think it's
No,
an
there's-
olive branch too.
It's a
isn't it?
bird and an olive
Yeah.
branch.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I photoshopped out the olive branch, and I just fucking put in a clip art microphone in there.
Yep, I remember that. I remember, like, what if we did this?
And
Like, yeah, sure,
I'm very happy we changed that logo because, yeah, it was a fucking straight ripoff. It was so bad.
Yeah, it's better now.
I also want to say this person, when they wrote in, they were applying to grad school. So if you're listening, you know who you are. I hope you got in. Hope you're in a good program. All right, let's get to my 3 friends I harassed to write in. So
God damn it.
first one is Andrea. We mentioned her earlier. She had all Vermont listens, and now she's in Colorado. So, but anyway, I'm Andrea, and I found the podcast through Jacob. We were both visiting UIUC as prospective grad students. He mentioned the podcast, and as someone who runs through podcasts like it's their job, it's kind of like right now. Shout out to unemployment. I knew I had to check it out. I power binged all the episodes you had released at the time in a few weeks. I started listening to support a new friend, but I continued to listen because of the intriguingly random conversations. I would usually reach out to Jacob after a few episodes to let him know how ridiculous some of your opinions are. This is very true. I'd be at work, I'd just get a random text from Andrew, be like, okay, about this topic, I think this, and you're wrong, and Dayton's right. I'm just like, I have no idea what you're talking
Yo,
about. Andrew. You gotta
Dayton's
get
right.
into
Let's
context.
go.
Anytime I like bring it up and someone listens to an episode, they'll be like, "Why'd you think like this?" Or, "Dude, that part at this minute 2 years ago was funny." It's like, haha,
Yes.
yes,
I totally remember that.
I remember.
All right, my next 2 friends are my friends here at Purdue. So first one's from Lissa. Hi, boys. Lissa here. You may recognize me from references such as the friend who leaves beer in Jacob's fridge, or Jacob's running accountability friend, or the girl who does molecular gastronomy stuff sometimes. I'm a 3rd-year nutrition science PhD student at Purdue. I started listening mostly to get Jacob to stop pestering, but I wasn't sure what to expect because let's be real, saying the phrase "I have a podcast" in conversation is a bold social maneuver. Very true. That being said, I was pleasantly surprised, and y'all have made it into my weekly podcast lineup.
Yo,
I appreciate-
let's go.
There we go. I appreciate the mix of absurd hypotheticals, heartfelt insights, and interesting, albeit sometimes under-researched, scientific discussions. I
Yo,
remember-
that's engineers for you, to be honest.
Yeah.
I remember after we had we were talking about how the vaccine worked. I talked to her that week. Like, you guys were saying a lot of things you should not have been saying. It's like, ooh. Yeah.
I have a friend who like got a degree in psychology, and they're always saying like, "Oh, you got so close to like this idea, but you kind of fucked it up. Like you're on the like it was there. It just you didn't finish it."
That's why we need you guys to write in more and tell us when we're wrong.
That's why we don't. Fact checking is a lot more work. We don't have time for that.
She also said also the whole being a supportive friend thing, but that's mostly secondary at this point. And she asked us a question. So here's my question. What is something insignificant that, when it happens, makes you happier than it probably should? For example, portioning out exactly how much of something, like a chemical you need on the first try, is an S tier feeling for me. Congrats on 100 episodes. Keep up the good work. I think one for me is like when you just you park the car perfectly. Like, you come in a little hot to the parking lot, and you kind of swing it around and get right in the parking spot. You're like, ooh, fucking nailed it.
The
Can I
top
go
of my
with-
head, I can't.
Oh.
I said,
Do you have one? Okay.
No, that's my point. Is off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
The first thing I think of is finding a song that I really, really like. I feel like I'm kind of picky with that. Or when I get the chills from a song, because that's so
Oh,
fucking rare. So I'm like, when that happens, it's like, oh, like makes me very, very happy because it doesn't happen much, you know.
Yeah, it's a pretty rare feeling.
Mhm.
Similar to Jacob, mine's like a driving one. I think if I can, so I have this on my daily commute into work. There's this hill with a stoplight on the top, and if I can coast up to the top without having to brake, and then just like
Oh.
using my accelerator to keep me in one place, that makes me feel like a fucking god.
Race
I am just
car
like
driver.
I am just like I am one with the machine. Makes me feel fucking great.
Do you think of any, Joseph?
So we were playing, let's see, what was this last weekend? We were playing this game that I've never heard of before. We started playing it when I moved here, called Marbles.
Oh,
It's like
God
Sorry,
damn it.
but you play with like cards, and I
It's
hate
Minnesotan.
it. The first time I played it, you know how like in Sorry you have to, I think I've never played Sorry. It's been years.
It's very similar to Sorry.
Where like you get like your piece out. By the end of the game I didn't get a single piece
Never
out.
got out.
So anyway, this last time you were playing, you like deal the cards, and you can deal between like 3 and 7 cards while you're the dealer, and you deal for the entirety of 2 full decks. I perfectly dealt out this deck of cards. Like I grabbed the deck, and it went around like the right amount of times. We had the perfect amount of people. Ooh, it was perfect. I felt
that is a good feeling. That is a good
I
feeling.
felt pretty great about that. But
Mine are all like just like I do physical thing my body like shouldn't be able to do, but it's like the finesse that you're like anything I do I can say like nailed it afterwards is what makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what's a good example. Here's an example that's not mine, but I had a teacher back in high school who explained like he's like sometimes you just do these random physical acts and nobody sees them, but they were just really fucking cool. He's like there was one time his teacher was like throwing candy out and she threw a piece of candy at him and he just moved his hand like this and caught it.
Wait, that's like the fucking windmill that goalies do when they want to be fucking obnoxious. They're just like, whoa.
Just like shit like that, just like weird physical shit where it's like throwing or catching something perfectly or just I don't know.
Never tell me the odds on Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. It's essentially when you have the water bottle flip trick.
Yeah.
Anything similar to that is it gets me a really good high.
That's fair.
All right, and the last one is my friend Steph, and she gave us a lot of questions, so here we go.
Oh man, all right.
Let's lightning round these. I'm ready.
Hello, gentlemen. I love the podcast. Here's some questions for you. Number 1, what is your favorite nut?
Cashew.
Pistachio.
That is not where I thought this question was going.
You're right.
My bedroom, 2014.
Yeah. That's what I was going after, Gabe. I was like, fuck, like you're asking me to answer that question?
The URL will be in the video description.
No, I think, all right, so my favorite nut is probably a pecan.
Okay. I'm a basic peanut bitch.
That's not even a nut, that's a legume.
Whatever.
Yeah, you kinda
Fucking
cheated.
idiot.
Whatever, I'm counting it. Number 2. I feel like being on a podcast is the ultimate icebreaker answer. Do you use it for icebreakers? Similarly, how quickly do you typically reveal you have a podcast to friends, family, or coworkers?
Jacob.
My coworkers do not know, and that's on purpose.
Yeah,
So
none
we
of
talk
my
about-
coworkers know.
Talk
See,
about it
I
a little
ref-
bit.
I
My
refuse.
coworkers-
Yeah, I also have talked about work a bit, and
I don't.
My
I don't feel
coworkers
comfortable
know.
with it.
My coworkers know, like, well, so they know that I have a podcast. I don't think any of them listen, but I still don't. I don't tend to talk about work a lot on the podcast anyway.
Yeah.
But also, that's kind of, I'm probably not supposed to talk about work that much on the podcast anyway. So
That's true.
yeah, you do have that weird kind of almost military type.
I guess with like family
Almost
and
military.
friends, like my
Well,
family
yeah.
knows, but they don't listen. I mean, my dad listens. Shout out to my dad. What's up?
yo, Fred.
But,
Your
but as far as like friends, like I mean, new friends, I definitely kind of feel it out per person. You know, like, I think it. That being said, it is on my Hinge profile. Like, I think it's an interesting thing, but I think it's interesting to a select group of people, you know,
Right.
type of a deal.
Mhm.
And typically, like if they find it interesting, it's probably the type of person that I would enjoy hanging out with. But I can see and have received judgment, I guess, from having a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's almost like the new like white guy thing to do. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I bet you have a podcast, or like talk about having a podcast, but we
Mhm.
actually have done it, you know, type of
And
video.
I would say that we're past that point just because of, I would say, the amount of effort that we put into it. Maybe when
Sure.
we first started it, it would fall into that
Sure.
that platter. But like
Once
now
we
that
got past the
we-
one mic,
yeah. Once we got past the one mic, we all have good audio now. Well, Jacob's going to be improving his audio even further.
Spoilers.
We have video and we stream it and we put it on YouTube. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're going past just the bare minimum.
When it was only on SoundCloud, yeah.
Yeah.
we were those
When
guys
we were
that have a
SoundCloud
podcast.
podcasters, yeah.
Mhm.
Check out my SoundCloud. My friends that drink beer and talk about dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot like because it's on my hinge, it's a lot like what Alyssa did to write in, where it's like it's almost like a litmus test of it even though like they have a bunch of information on me that I don't have on them, if they manage to make it through a few episodes and is still talking to me, it's like, okay,
That's a good sign.
yeah, because like more or less, I mean, obviously I censor some things because I mean it's public, but I mean I'm authentically myself around in the podcast and around you guys,
Definitely.
so it's like if someone listens to it and still wants to talk to me, they're probably gonna. I mean, we're probably gonna get along.
Real shit.
Right.
Real shit.
My family doesn't know, and I intend to keep it that way. Mainly because I feel like I'm a different person hanging out with family than being with you guys, which makes sense for some people, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Coworkers, I haven't told my lab mates yet. I probably will at some point. I'm not quite comfortable enough with them yet
Bump
to
us
do
to
it.
40.
What's that? Again?
40
40
downloads
listeners.
per episode. Come on, man.
I know. I'm thinking about it. I might do like a select people in the lab I'm more closer with. But that's the coworker thing is weird because like it's just like if I ever talk like bitch on during the podcast about stuff, I don't want them to hear it necessarily. But and then friends, as you guys, any person in my life, I'm talking about it constantly.
Yeah, you literally started this segment out with I harassed my friends
Yeah.
to write in.
Oh yeah. I mean that's literally how me and Andrew became friends. Like we were like visiting the school together, and it was the only day I met her and I ended up talking about it, and then she ended up listening, and then we became friends. Like I really like talking about it. I think it's a good way to get people to like know me better, and
Mhm.
I'm just trying to get those numbers up. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can talk about it, I'm going to talk about it.
Yep.
I'm not trying to make it a competition, but I feel like I've brought in the most people into the podcast.
Oh,
I just
by
talk
far.
about it wherever I go.
Hey, there's no stats on that. You can't prove it.
You can't quantify that.
But yeah, no, any like person I'm like hanging out with, it comes up almost immediately. So, and I'm not ashamed about that. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, for
I
my
would
friends,
say-
I don't bring it up unless people are like, "Hey, do you want to do something on like a recording nights?" And then I'll say something. I'll just be like, "Sorry, I'm recording my podcast." And then they'll be like, "Oh, you have a podcast? Like, what's it called?" And they'll ask questions, but like I don't ever like bring it up as like a point of conversation. Like I guarantee you that probably over half my friends that I have out here probably don't know that I have a podcast if they haven't been over to my apartment and have seen like my microphone and shit like that. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I know. Well, my family knows
Mhm.
because my parents make fun of me for it. They don't make fun of me, but they make comments, and I know for a fact they don't listen. But a couple of my brother-in-laws listen. I think I know at least one, maybe two. And then some of my cousins. But actually, too, one of my friends, I was talking to him the other day. One of my friends from high school. He's like, "Yeah, I've been watching some of your game streams."
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So like a little different. Like he doesn't watch them live; he'll watch them after the fact.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. But
I mean, we even get like
Interesting.
14 views on the game streams afterward, which is kind of crazy. It feels like a
yeah,
lot.
so I know at least one, and I'm guessing my other friend too that they hang out quite a bit. They've been trying to get me to play Days recently, or Daisy.
Daisy.
Yeah, they've been trying to get me to play that. Shout out Patrick and Nathaniel.
I knew it was Nathaniel. I knew it was him.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not
fuck you,
surprised at
Nathaniel,
all.
trying to get me to play games. So
We
yeah.
got two more questions from Steph here. So third one. I do not frequently listen to myself talk because I always think my voice sounds weird. Do you still think your voices sound weird after listening to them every week?
Yes.
I've gotten used to it.
I'm used to it as well.
It's not as bad because like I don't know. It's one of those things where like I think if you record yourself like infrequently and you hear it, you're like, oh, that's fucking weird. But then when you have how many hours Dayton said, it's like I've accepted that it's my
107.6.
Thank you.
yeah.
I think. Let me double check.
It's still like weird, but it's also like I've accepted that's how I sound. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So for
that's how
me-
I hear myself in my head now. If that makes sense.
Oh, why can't I click on this? Whatever. I'm gonna trust my gut on that number. For
See-
me, no, I've completely recognized how I sound it because I'm the one who edits the podcast. I have to fucking
Right.
listen to each one of us. I have listened to Jacob, Gabe, and Joseph laugh than I have ever thought that I would ever have to. Especially because so for the people that aren't like in our immediate like group of friends, I on each one of their birthdays, I basically compile a whole bunch of like really out of context shitty things that they all say, and I make like some like weird narrative out of it. Uh, and
There's a lot of stuff for that.
there's a lot of stuff. So I end up scrubbing through a whole bunch of old episodes and listening to them laugh. And at this point, I've just like just succumbed to it. I'm just like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. Like,
I will say it does. I get a weird feeling whenever like the microphone changes. For example, if I go back and listen to the first 30 episodes, my voice sounds different than it does now because the microphone is different.
Sure.
Mm,
That
That
one
makes
sounds
sense.
a bit weird. And I'm sure when I get my new microphone installed, it'll sound weird again. for a
it'll
little
sound
bit.
crispy.
It'll sound like what you sound like. It'll be
Exactly.
way better.
Mhm.
So it'll be weird for a bit, but yeah, when you listen to ourselves as much stuff, like we get used to it.
See, yeah, at first it was weird, and then I was like, wait a second. That is exactly how I hear Gabe, Jacob, and Dayton
Yeah.
on the
That's the
video
weird part.
feed, and that doesn't sound too far off from hearing them in real life.
Mhm.
So that's what I sound like.
Yep.
So then you just like that's fine. I
Yeah.
think I've only listened all the way through to maybe one episode of our podcast, and that was the one that I wasn't on. That was the one where Max stood in for me.
Yeah.
But other than like I've listened to enough snippets of it throughout, but yeah.
Yeah, once you realize everyone else sounds, especially with like the mics that we have now, it's like, okay, this is what I sound like. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Final question from Steph here. So if you were to get your podcast sponsored for a substantial side income, she says, I can already see this debating on this what this means, and I'm tempted to see what the amount is. But if the sponsor was White Claw and you could only drink White Claws on the podcast, would you take it?
No.
Not a shot.
Hell no.
Not a
It would
shot.
have to be like a lot of money.
Side
Even then.
income? Side income? No. Full
Yeah.
pay income? I'd debate it.
I
I would
would
think
agree.
about it.
I would agree. If I had at least 80% of my current income off of this,
Yeah,
I would-
do it. That's how
Hands down.
I would
Hands
probably do it. I would probably
That's
do it.
I didn't think
Also-
about that. Yeah, but
I
that's not
feel
the
like if
contract.
we sold out that much, like other companies would be after us. So like that one could be like the White Claw sponsored one, and then eventually other
Yeah,
people
it's
would be like this. Like the seltzer game would be fighting over our sponsors. You know.
Mhm.
I will say
I don't
though,
think it would be a disadvantage.
even if this was press, I still wouldn't take it because I don't want a company to decide what we drink every week because that's so like crucial to the podcast. Like that's
Well,
one
I
of
feel
our
like that's
core tenets.
something you hash out in the contract. You know, you say once
Every
one,
third episode or whatever.
yeah, or something like that.
Or maybe it's one person per episode has to drink one.
yeah. I think that would be a
That's-
reasonable contract.
Yeah, but if like all four of us had to drink White Claw or press every episode, I'd be like, fuck off. Like I'm not doing this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But hey, press. If you want to sponsor us, we're still
We've
available.
already written in, and we have updated numbers now.
Not updated numbers. Our YouTube's been going up recently.
I don't think they're paying any attention to
Press, I sent you stats. Please reply.
it.
I will say though, if there was a sponsor that allowed me to do this full time, I would fucking take it.
Yeah, I feel like
Probably.
a pretty
At least for a good chunk of my life, I probably would.
Mm.
All right, let's get into the final segment of the podcast, which is our most memorable episodes or favorite episodes, just episodes that we think back on fondly. How do we want to do this? Let's just go around in a circle, each saying one. How about that? And we'll just keep going around until we run
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Um, I can go first then. I'll start. Keep it simple. Episode 1. I just remember sitting on that couch right before we started, feeling nervous, feeling excited.
Like, what the fuck are we gonna do?
So nervous.
Yeah. I
I
think we had some topics that we said career fair, and like I feel like I wrote down something. I think prepared, but I was nervous, but I just remember that feeling.
I was nervous about the white space or like the dead space
Dead
during
area.
conversation and like how like what would we do? It's like talking to someone new, right? It's like how do you fill that silence? But 4 of us, usually one of us has something to say.
Usually.
Well, we've been friends for a good chunk of time by that point, so it
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
strangers.
Sorry, I need to interject this. For the people who are watching on video, you may have just realized that I was fucking zoned out there for 20 seconds. That's because when Jacob said episode 1, I remembered how we recorded those episodes. So I used to bring my laptop down and we would record onto that. And the reason why this is the big breakthrough is because I think on my laptop I have all of the audio files for episode 1 through 30. So I might be able to
Remaster.
I might be able to remaster them. Like honestly, like I might be able to
Do
make
you
them.
have all of them? Because I remember we recorded a couple on my laptop.
Yeah, so I
too.
won't have all of them, but I should have a
At
good
this
number of
point,
them.
if you got episode 8 and you can fix episode 8, that's all I ask.
I
Because
might
otherwise
even
you'd have to go in and individually turn down all of the laughs. Because we
not
already did we already
not
ran a
necessarily.
compression.
Not
We already ran a
no.
compression all.
Because I have all the individual raw files, I think.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I could just be
TBD.
talking.
TBD. We'll see.
Yeah.
TPB.
Joseph, do you have something to say about episode 1?
No.
Okay. I thought you had something, but all right.
I had a question, but it's gonna when it's my turn. That's when I'll
Well,
ask it.
Guess what? Now it's your turn. Go for it.
So
Oh,
his
shit.
episode 1, I forget if it was episode 1 or 2 where we did the donuts, beers, and running. That was episode 1.
One.
Damn, because that one specifically, that conversation,
Yep.
I remember being really fun.
That was a really good one.
So sorry,
I was gonna say, and that led to Sean, a good friend of the podcast,
eating 12 donuts in 12 hours.
No, he did 2 dozen.
Oh, did he do 24?
He did 24.
Yeah, it was 24. Yeah, I misspoke earlier. It was 24
That's
donuts.
so many
Absolute
donuts.
Mhm.
Mad lad.
Fuck.
Go to the
then-
breakup episode if you want to hear about that again.
Yeah, and then you're gonna hear Gabe bitch and moan for the latter half. I'm kidding. So then I'm gonna go with the shit. I want to say the dichotomy test. I thought that one was really interesting.
Oh,
Where
we
we
did.
took that test and it was
Yep.
like, are you more this way or this way? And there was like 10.
Well, we did that one, and then we did the Engram one, and then we did
Yeah, the
we did a
Enneagram
lot
was-
of
The
personality
Enneagram
ones.
was separate, but I really liked the dichotomy one because I think I still have the image saved on my phone of like my actual test results, and I think that's super interesting.
that's when we found out that Gabe was a nihilist.
Yep.
Oh, that was
Okay,
that
you guys
one.
didn't know before.
Yeah.
Huh.
That was a fun episode, Joseph. I remember that one.
Mhm.
Gabe, what do you got?
See, I got some classics, and I'm kind of avoiding them because I feel like they were on the top.
Go for it, dude.
as well.
Okay, go for it.
I'm
You don't think I
gonna
will.
go with some that were biased, that stand up to me personally.
Cider boy.
Yep. The one where I got made fun of relentlessly. That one's my favorite. No, I got audio quality in episode 31. I remember being very proud of that. I have breakup.
Hey, one at a
break-
time, Buster.
Break. No,
Yeah,
these.
we're on one at a time. We'll go back around to you.
That wasn't an episode. That was just like a phase.
All right, fine. Give me an actual
I got break recaps, like the,
yeah.
the winter carnival, the spring breaks.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, this is very biased, and it's probably not for everybody. But I like going back, and I like listening to them every now and then because it's like, I mean, I forget what I did sometimes, and I don't know the shenanigans.
Wasn't
We did
Who's the-
Halloween too. We did the one with Jacob. I think dying at that party. I think
I've
that
talked
was-
about that story. I think at this point like 5 times.
so
on the
many
podcast.
times. But I mean, still, like those like a big party events or like travel events. I don't know. I have a lot of nostalgia for them.
Yeah, for sure.
was the spring break episode we got drunk too? Wasn't there one?
No, we got drunk too with the STEM one.
It was.
We got drunk
Was it-
too with STEM, the first STEM episode. We're like, let's get drunk and talk about STEM topics. That'll be fun.
I couldn't remember where the second one was. That one was always the one that like. It's a little,
Yeah, so
little
if I
hairy
remember
for
correctly,
me.
we got drunk was obviously we got drunk one. The STEM episode 45, I think. Or maybe it was no, that was the second STEM episode. The first STEM episode was the second we got drunk. Third one was we
Okay.
got drunk 3. Fourth one's
Mhm.
hard seltzer ranking.
Yep, you're right.
And then
Okay.
we'll do at
Okay.
some point. Dayton, what do you want to talk about?
My favorite one is probably the one that I probably had to. Well, I take that back. So both these are ones that are like are ones that I put a lot of effort into. Number one being the bullshit bracket.
Yep.
So I put a
Yeah.
lot of effort into that one. I put a lot of
That was
effort in
pretty good.
like outside of the podcast of me making my like raps for each week, and then making the templates for Twitch, figuring out how to get it all working, and then in the final round, I made like my own like beat to like rap it to, and that was a lot of fun. And you know, I'm gonna give a shout out to myself on this one because this line was so fucking
Oh my
good.
God.
This line was so good. It fucking slapped. Okay, so my this was it was the organs. What was that one called? What was the
Organ
title?
atrocity.
Organ
That was
atrocity.
Yeah, that was the third one we
All
did.
right, so I had the appendix, and one of my lines was, "It ain't no fantasy with a stepsis when you're dealing with sepsis." And oh man, that line right there, that shit slaps. Like I want that shit written on my gravestone.
It keeps you up at night.
Oh my gosh, dude! But I remember writing that line, and I was like, "Oh fuck, dude, this shit's gonna slap." And you know,
Popped a boner right there.
all I'm gonna say is that I bring results. I am the current winner of the bullshit bracket
This is true.
For
You'll have to
now.
defend your
for
title in
now.
a couple
For
months.
now, and then all right,
Gotta get.
hang on a second. I got another one. Hard seltzer.
We're
Hard
going back
seltzer.
around,
Whoa,
Dave.
whoa, whoa,
No.
whoa.
Dayton.
We do one on one. We
Hey,
do one
no, Gabe, you said more than one.
I didn't do an episode.
Fine, whatever. The rules are gone now. Go ahead, Dave.
Rules are gone. Damn it. Okay, flip the fucking table. Damn it. Ah!
Rules are gone. Do another shot.
I don't have any more. I do have another line. I don't know. I'm supposed to be going to bed soon.
Anyway, hard seltzer.
Hard seltzer, and it's only because I made the Pokemon cards.
That
was
is
a
the
very good
episode I go back and watch the most. I don't know why. It was just such a fun day. I love when we rank shit because it's just so fucking dumb. And yeah, that was just a great
That's a great
time.
one.
Mm-hmm.
No,
We got
I think
so
that was
blasted.
one of our better produced ones too.
Oh yeah, for sure. With all the graphics and stuff.
Mhm.
The episode let's do the second most is the ice skating conspiracy.
Oh,
Nice.
buddy.
Love that episode. I know I was going crazy, and still to this day we don't know what was going on.
We
But
don't.
if you haven't,
It's a complete
I don't
mystery.
want to spoil anything. If you haven't listened to episode 11, the ice skating conspiracy, go back and check it out. I think it is at least the first bit. I think
It's
it's
worth
really
the
really fun.
audio.
Yeah, it's just, and I also miss us going ice skating. Those are good times. But
They were good
yeah, it's
times.
a great episode. Joseph, get another one.
I'm trying to remember which one it was. Shit. I was gonna have a list, and then Jacob fucking called me out on my shit.
Dude, don't use this as an excuse, my
And
guy.
you know what?
You can't.
I did, and then I didn't make a list.
Joseph, I went through every single episode and wrote down what we drank for every episode. And you can't even be bothered to make a list of your favorite episodes.
Hey, I have a full-time job, all right?
Hey,
you're
I have
just
a
in the
full-time
lab
job and I
mixing
did all
shit.
these stats. Joseph,
Yeah.
zero excuses.
You're
Joseph,
right.
How about I come back to you while you grab one here?
I've got one on deck.
Gabe, go for it.
All right. This one is also super biased because it was the one episode I got to host, and that was a lot of fun. It was very exciting. It's when Jacob was gone. We did the topic, how many kids could we fight? Which was, or 5-year-olds specifically.
Mhm.
And I loved that topic so much. I still use it as like icebreakers. Is sometimes I'm just like trying to throw away a conversation of like, how many 5-year-olds do you think you could fight? And I think it's just a fun question. And it was interesting. And I gained a lot of respect for being a host.
It's not easy, Gabe.
I'm not saying it's hard. I'm just saying it's not easy. There's some extra steps like you had to constantly be conscious of, but it was fun, and the topic was. It makes me giggle. Like I think it's such a stupid topic, but I enjoy it so much.
That was a good one for sure. Did you have another one, or did you blow your load?
Dude, I fucking busted. I'm gonna be real, okay? It happens, okay? It's premature. It's okay.
Well,
I want to know how many shots you've had tonight, so it's fine.
Have I only
go.
had two?
Well,
I've
hey, I
only had
got
two
one.
shots.
Well, I have a lot, Joseph. So let me go again, and then you can. Sorry,
Okay.
I have like 10 more, but I'm not.
Dude,
I'm not
Jacob's been
everything else.
fucking edging for 100 episodes.
Yeah, dude, I gotta get Gullis out. Another one that I like a lot from the old days was the mental health episode.
Oh yeah.
That was like one of our more serious ones.
Mhm.
And that was like when I first talked about like my anxiety stuff, and you guys all talked about stuff too. So
That was lucky episode 13. I've got the
Was.
Spotify up right here that I'm scrolling through.
yeah, no, that was. I think it's another good episode to go back to if you haven't listened to it. Yeah, that's one of our more serious ones. So give it a shot. All right,
Mhm.
now you can go, Joseph. Sorry,
I really liked the soup salad sandwich episode,
I was gonna bring that up.
mostly
too.
because of how heated it got.
So heated.
And I know afterwards, my girlfriend Alyssa told her family about it, and they got heated, and they all told me I was wrong, and told me to tell Jacob he was wrong. It was great.
That's one of our better just dumb shit debates. I think. Yeah, 'cause it just gets so heated
That
so
one
fast.
was fun.
Gabe, do you have any more you wanted to shout out?
I got one more, and it's just another stupid topic. There's a string you can tell where all my ideas stemmed from going on walks with my other roommate Tim, my coworker, on lunch, and just like how ridiculous our conversations go. And it's fun to talk about it and like, okay, I think I got it figured out, and then I bring it to the table with you guys, and we just like take it a completely different direction. And I mean, Grasshopper Society is just so fucking funny to me. We just like we're walking on this path with a bunch of and too many grasshoppers. And we were just talking about how it would be like if everyone could jump as far as a grasshopper proportionally. And I don't know, like it's such a stupid topic, but I really enjoyed that discussion. We always will like, we're very good, I think, at like taking an idea, like a stupid question, and then we always like, it doesn't matter whose topic it is, but we always try and flesh it out in a way. It's like, okay, it's your topic. What are the rules? Like, like you keep
How
asking
can we
follow-up,
run with this?
and then like the person who sets the question like sets the construct. Like, okay,
They're like the
they can jump-
moderator.
yeah, like they moderate like how ridiculous it can get, and then you go off that. I just love the dynamic that we have with like all of those stupid questions, because we're super serious about it. It's like, okay,
Yes.
so you're a grasshopper, but like if you jumped like this, how would it go? And then I'm like, it would be fine. Okay, so it's fine. But what if I don't know. I just love that dynamic so much.
I totally
such a
agree,
fun
Gabe.
time.
That's why I love when we do hypotheticals like that, because yeah, we just can take it way too
We
seriously.
go way too far. We use the STEM brains, and we're
Yep.
like, let's make this as technical as
If we
possible.
go fucking oonga boonga on that
Yeah.
bullshit.
It's such a fun time. I love.
I
those
will
times.
say, I think that might be the dumbest hypothetical we've ever done, though.
Oh, it is.
For sure.
But it's one of my favorites. I don't know.
Oh yeah, 100%. Another one from the pre-30 days, episode 29. Thanks for the memories. When we talked about our best and
facts.
worst memories from college. That's not one we're going to go back to for the nostalgia. I think it's a good encapsulation of our time at college. So yeah, that's a good one to go back to as well. I'm a big fan of it. So check that one out too. Give me a lot of recommendations. Joseph, any more? Do you want to shout out?
I don't think we did the original We Got Drunk yet. Like,
We have not.
talked about that one. I think that one was great because Dayton curated a bunch of Would You Rather cards for it.
Oh, I
And it was
remember
I think,
this.
most likely to also.
Or
Yeah.
most likely to.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Most likely to. And I remember because he would read it, and we all knew exactly who it was. Like, Dayton picked like, however many for everyone, so that like it wasn't like picking on anyone specifically, but it was like
I
that
would
is
equal
such
opportunity.
Yeah, it's like that is such a Jacob thing, or that is such a me thing, or whoever. Like it, and I think it was in the description it says we had Alan and Max on it too. So we had was that our first one with special guests?
Yes.
Yeah.
CC was after, I think.
Yeah, she was. So that one was. I think that one was cool because that was when we first kind of like, I don't know, we got drunk's been a fun like thing that we've done. So
It's a special.
I think that one's special to me.
Yes, I agree. Gabe, anything else? You good?
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. Another one that it's stupid hypothetical, and I think it's off the rails. I think this is the most extremely like, I don't know, personal. I think is the hinge question one, where we each like give each other hinge prompts. I mean, towards the end, I think we kind of like started realizing they're all kind of the same prompt. But
yeah, after like the third question, we're like, huh.
Sure, but like I love the idea of it, and I love how like, I don't know, they're just like shitting on each other. It feels very personal, and I think I don't know. I think it's a good episode for anyone really to listen. Cause I don't know, there's crazy stories behind it.
Yeah, it was one of my more favorite like premises for an episode, I think.
Yeah.
If you aren't noticing a theme, I like the absurd premise ones a lot. I just think they're a lot of fun.
I got a couple small ones, and I'll do my last big one here. So we already talked about the breakups one a lot, but I just remember that one because Gabe was in our living room. I don't remember why.
Specifically in our living room.
I think it was because I just moved there, and I don't think I had my stuff set up yet. I don't think I moved in yet.
Yeah, it was pretty early. I think you're like, I don't have my desk set up, and like your apartment was kind of weird at that time too.
It sucked. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Laptop and your microphone, and
Yeah, I just brought a laptop.
3 of us were in 3 different rooms in that apartment recording.
I remember you had like a book holding your microphone.
Yeah.
Or some shit.
I have a stand.
Yeah.
Also the recent ranking Chex Mix pieces. I love the ranking ones a lot. That's kind of my favorite. 'Cause, again, we take it way too seriously, get way in the nitty gritty, and it's really fun. But the last big one I think I have is the fate of O House, because that's the episode where Gabe and I ranted about our living situations.
Oh my god, dude, that was like 3 months in the making. I was like ready because like I was recording episodes in the house, and it's like I can't say anything.
I actually re-listened to most of that episode when I was going through the episodes for the drinks. I just kept listening to that one because I wanted to like rehear it again. And yeah, like Gabe goes off for a bit, and I'm like, all right, Gabe, time for me to go off. And I just blast these fuckers to know how. It was insane.
Dude, they tainted our image.
Yes, they tainted the memory of our sacred house
in
college.
Pitiful.
Sacred house.
The sacred texts.
God damn it.
I feel like that's the second time that I've dropped that on the podcast.
You've done it more than twice.
No,
more than twice. Yeah.
Who else has done it?
No, I'm saying you've done it more
Oh, me specifically?
It's a common Dayton quote.
It's so funny to me.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yeah, Yoda. Isn't it Yoda?
No, it's Luke.
It's
that
Luke.
Oh yeah, it's Luke. It's
because Yoda's burning them.
Yeah, that's right.
The sacred text. So good.
All right, any final shout-outs here?
It's not a full episode, but it was the one where we talked about our hometown conspiracy theories. So remember Dayton and I talking about lemon heads or melon heads?
Melon heads.
Halloween.
The melon heads. That because I fucking love the melon head story. I think it's so fucking funny.
It's a good story.
It's pretty good.
It's real life. It's real.
Well, yeah. It's not just a story. So.
Yeah.
It's not a conspiracy.
They're out there.
All right, guys. I think we did it. I think we did the episode 100 extravaganza, almost 2 hours long.
Dude, another double feature.
I got one last thing. It's not especially the best one, but I would say I think it's cool that we had the idea, and like Dane said, we actually did it. Like I think it's one thing, put it on SoundCloud, which we did. We started out that way, but we each do our own little part to make it happen. I'm not saying that one of us couldn't do it all on our own. It would be a lot more work. It's cool that we get to still talk to each other, and then we each kind of have our own little roles, to keep it going, to keep it a well-oiled machine, and still feel like we want to talk to each other every week, even
Mhm.
though we run this thing. I think that's cool.
Yeah, and I was talking to Dayton recently about how even just in 2020, the way our technology has advanced this year, like where we started and where we are now, where we can have good video, we're streaming on Twitch, our audio quality is pretty damn good at this point. Like, I'm very proud of like the progress this podcast has made. So I'm really excited to see what we do this year. I hope we make some more leaps and bounds. Um, and yeah, thanks to everyone who's ever listened to the podcast. Even yeah, Gabe, like you said, I can't believe we did. I can't believe people wanted to listen to it.
Yeah.
And
But yeah,
have wanted to listen to it for 2 years.
It's one thing to make it happen. It's another thing to convince people it's worth their time. You know.
Yeah. So thank you. I hope you keep listening. Keep sharing. I'm just gonna keep that email open. If you ever want to just write in and say anything to us, ewpodcast@gmail.com, just go for it. Or DM us on Instagram whenever you want. We'll read it on the podcast, or you can just send us a message if you want to.
Give us topics and questions if you made it this far.
Yeah, send us any questions you might have.
Not that we're running out of ideas.
We always make it happen.
We
always make it happen somehow.
we can scrounge up some dirt.
we got drunk 5 in the tank. We got
I've actually got we've got some backlog. I have a couple ideas.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time, we have like a month-long backlog of ideas. So
because we've had this very scheduled out with the holidays and the 100 episodes.
Yep.
Well, Year Compass Part 2 is next week. We got to do the 2021 Year Compass. So
Yep.
But yeah, can't say thank you enough. Hope you keep listening. As always, find our show on Mondays on podcast services and YouTube. And go ahead and follow us on Twitch. Monday nights we're gaming. Thursday nights we're streaming the podcast live. So give that a shout out. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.